another doorway to open up and see what kind of lifeline will be waiting there for me. I need to bury all these fears and let them fade away. I'm not scared, I'm prepared to find myself again. I wanna fly over mountains, I wanna reach the end. I'll rise up from the ashes, and I wanna burn again. I'll find my way through the bitterness I'm feeling. I won't rest, I won't give up, I'm still healing. I'm still healing. I won't give up, I'm still healing. I fight the pain that I once let kill my vibe. I fear the day that I lose the chance to fight. So I stand up tall, ready to face it all again. And I will not fall, I won't lose again. I wanna fly over mountains, I wanna reach the end. I'll rise up from the ashes, and I wanna burn again. I'll find my way through the bitterness I'm feeling. I won't rest, I won't give up, I'm still healing. I'm still healing. I'm still healing. I won't rest, I won't give up, I'm still healing. I won't give up, I'm still healing. All I need is 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes with you. Let me give it a one last shot, will I ever get through to you? Oh, am I wasting my time, should I leave for the night? It's unclear at the moment. Can you give me a sign, I'm here trying and trying. I need 10 more minutes with you. So let me know if you give up hope. Do I leave you alone or I leave you alone? So let me know if you give up hope by now. So let me know if you give up hope. Do I leave you alone or I leave you alone? So let me know if you give up hope. I need 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes with you. Yeah, I just wanna go back home. Can't do this anymore. I can't get through to you, so what the fuck am I fighting for? Were all those rumors true? Or were you trying to... 'Cause 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 'cause
Oh, is it working now? How you boys all doing? Welcome back. Sorry, I was just sitting there saying, oh no, oh no, oh no. As soon as I saw that the mic was not picking anything up. Every time this bad boy gets an update, it kills my Corsair app. So my headphones sound weird. My keyboard, I think it's only the lights that are kind of off sometimes. So I have to do a full restart. And when that happens, then my OBS is like, where's your mic? And I'm like, plugged in, there's a little wire, but I have to reset it every single time. How you boys all doing? Welcome back, welcome back. We got another duel day for the day, boys. It's good. PTR duel day. Ooh, should be pretty fun. PTR, man. Let's take a look at some of the new honor talents. Now, I'm really hoping we get some Pharaohs, maybe a Demon Hunter to test some of the new honor talents they're getting. I think that'll be super cool. Shadow Priest. Do we have any Shadow Priest mains, by the way? Or anybody that plays the Shadow Priest in the free time that wants to pop in and try the new honor talents, dude? Wouldn't that be cool? How you boys all doing, though? Welcome back to another wonderful, beautiful live stream, boys. TBC coming out very soon. Hopefully all of you that are going to be playing are excited for it. Hopefully we get to see some exciting... Actually, I could even see Blizzard not doing any PTR or any new updates on 9.1 this week, because I'm pretty sure they want to take away a lot of the attention from TBC. They want that to be as hype as possible. So I could totally see them go quiet this Tuesday/Wednesday about 9.1 altogether. Maybe announce rate testing, but maybe even like they probably won't either, just because they want people playing the new expansion, new old expansion, the classic TBC release, and all that jazz. But hopefully we'll get some updates, man. Hopefully we got some updates. A couple other people are saying that, you know what, they did a lot of rate testing. It looks like they tested everything. The bosses are different, this and that and this and that. And some people are like, potentially, are we getting the patch early? Preach said it, and a couple other channels said it, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see why they say it. And the reasoning is it's like, oh, they did 4 tests in one single day. They did that in Pandaria, and then it looks like they're basically done with testing afterwards. Like, what else do they need to test? If they're going to go quiet, then we get it. And it's like, well, that's, yes, true, but that's not confirmed 9.1. So I'm like, I don't feel like it's just not good enough. But anyway, dude, it's just a personal tilter. How you boys all doing? Well, welcome back to another wonderful, beautiful live stream. If 9.1 comes out earlier, dude, I'll be happy, man. I'll personally be happy. Let's get the music back up. And let's log on PTR. See what genuinely good, wonderful, beautiful boys are available for PTR. Dude, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. The faster 9.1 comes out, the better. This TBC should be pretty cool though, dude. I never really got into classic, but like this time I'll have a guild to play stuff with. So hopefully, as long as the guild like actually plays and gets to max level, and as long as that's not super boring, I think it could be kind of fun. Not gonna lie, I think that actually could be kind of fun. So boys, let's log on. How you boys all doing? Welcome back. I love watching the duels, dude. Duels are so fun. On 9.1 PTR in particular, they're really fun. I think next week we'll try just starting off with PTR duels. I think that'll be pretty fun. I think that'll be enjoyable, especially if we get a new update, you know what I mean? What's up, Lauren? We got ourselves Celtic, we got ourselves Jesus, Chicago, Sailing, Cursing, Alex. Hey, boys, all doing? Welcome back, welcome back. Hope all of you are having a good one, boys. Hope all of y'all are having a wonderful, beautiful day. The one Clash 9.1 and TB2 released at the same time period. I don't know, will they? Because it is 2 different teams, and they did do that for Naxxramas and Shadowlands. They had Naxxramas and Shadowlands come out literally at the same time. So they have done clashes before. Like, would it make sense for them not to do a clash? Yes. Have they done clashes before? Saying that they're not gonna do it? Like, they have done it. You know what I mean? Well, they have done it. You know what I mean? On Alliance D3 sounds good. Do we have, how many groups do we have on PTR? We just had a couple of good boys on PTR. Danger, you should join us on PTR stuff. Have you checked out some of the Warlock changes, demonology stuff? It's still fun? Yeah, WoW is still pretty fun. I think everybody's just waiting for patch 9.1 at this point, my guy. You know what I mean? Everybody's either prepping for that TBC re-release of Classic or waiting for patch 9.1. But 9.1 is looking pretty good, man. I think they're doing a lot of good stuff on 9.1. I think they're doing a lot of good changes overall. There's a lot of like detailed stuff they're doing too, like expanded soul binds, new legendaries, new zones and stuff. The new dungeon that's getting added, seasonal affix, which I cannot wait to test out, dude. That should be lots of hype. That should be really exciting. I'm actually genuinely excited for the Mythic Plus seasonal stuff. I think that should be really, really good. My ping is extremely janky PTR. I mean, you're always more than welcome to join in, man. We have a lot of the EU boys joining on there all the time. Yes, it's pretty janky, but it's still viable, or it's still possible. I guess it all depends who, for whom, right? Some people are probably worse than others. But hey, man, it's up to you, my guy. Whichever one you want to do. Alex, ready? 5-5. Let's go. I'm a red now. Are you playing red? You don't want to try any of the new, you don't want to try any of the new, Feral stuff? Okay, so what are the new stuff that Feral's really getting? I saw the nerf version of MS, which is still going to be good. Roar on a minute CD, if you choose to. Skull Bash will give a dash back. I guess that's not a lot. Yeah, I guess for Druids, that isn't enough. That's more like group gameplay. Nothing can really show off. No, Alex, you can play whatever you like, my dude. Play whatever you want, my man. We got Alex ready with the 5, man. We need a second one to go, boys, and we're good to go. Having issues with Demon landing an interrupt as a demonology? I could kind of... Well, actually, no. You do have an honor town with a puppy dogger, right? To get the interrupt. It's up to you, my guy. If you want to join, you're more than welcome to test out some of the new stuff. Maybe test out the new legendaries. Test out the Covenant Lego. I don't know what Covenant... I think you're Demonology. Actually, wouldn't the Demonology Covenant be really, really good? The legendary? Wouldn't that be really good? As long as it works. Last time I tested, it didn't properly work. It didn't give you 100% crit on the demon bolts, but I imagine it would be really good. I imagine it would be exceptionally good. You go for a big old demon doggo, so the doggo, let's say, debuffs the enemy. You probably wouldn't do that in most cases. You probably would summon the Vile Fiend. But if you did go for like a bursty setup, 20% more damage from Shadow Flame damage, right? Tyrant, 15% more damage buffed to you. Demon Bulls that are 100% crit, buffed by your Decimating Bolt. So like anywhere between 100 to 200 damage increase. And 50% more damage as crit. That's a lot of layers. You can even run a legendary where a couple of Shadow Bolts will make Demon Bolts hit really hard. Imagine like a big Chaos Bolt style nuke of a... I want to try it now. I want to try it. I'm actually now excited about Demon Bolt playstyle. Now I actually got myself hyped out by the Demon Bolt playstyle. I think it's really, really good. Yeah, it doesn't give 100% crit right now. Yeah, right now it doesn't. I don't know if it does give the 50% more damage if it does crit type of deal. I don't know if it does or doesn't. If you boys want to join any of the 5-5 1v1 duels over on the PTR, we're doing them on the PTR right now. Let me know if you need help getting PTR for your account. We have all the resources published in Discord for it. But if you guys want to join any of the duels, let me post that. Duels on PTR. On 9-1 PTR. Here we go. I'm going to pin it as well. Just so we have it. What's up, my man? Chrysler. It does give 50% more crit, but it doesn't give 100% crit. Okay. That's pretty weird. Hopefully they fix it by next week. Because that would be really, really cool. Because what are some of the Warlock, like Demonology? Of course, Destro you have... Actually, Destro doesn't really have too many things to play when to Incinerate, do they? I guess you have a talents that could work into it. Of course, you would go with the talent where you get more dim. 5 out of 5? Yo, Chicago, you have a group? A separate one? Are we good? Chicago versus Alex? Is that what we're doing for the day, boys? Yo. Let's go, boys. Are we ready? Or is Chicago with Alex? Is it the same group? Is it different? It's serious to go up to 15k plus. Yo, that's actually gonna be so good. And then 100% because like it's bugged. Yeah, imagine when it is 100% crit. It's gonna be so good. Alex got 1 DC. That's perfect. Yo, Chicago, do you have a 5 out of 5 right now? Ready? Like a 5-man group? Let me know. Yeah, dude, if that Lego works, 15k incinerates, cleave into multiple players. 15k is like half of someone's health, dude. That's like a little under half of someone's health. That's huge. And then you don't even do all the cooldowns available either. You just pop a demon bolt, you just pop your decimating bolt, and then just whap. Hit him with that Incin, dude. Hit him with that Incin cleave. Oh, it's gonna be better than Chaos Bolt, dude. It's like they're trying to find ways for Destro to do stuff. I need 1 minute. That's fine, Alex. Sounds good, my dude. I don't think I'm with Alex yet. Okay, cool. Chicago's ready. Alex needs 1 more person really quickly. He got 1 DC. Otherwise, we're good to go. But that's going to be so good. Oh, you know another Covenant for Warlocks I was excited for? Aventier. That legendary makes your Covenant ability do 75% more damage, plus 15 for every person it passes through that's an enemy on the way to the target. Sounds really good on paper, but the Covenant ability is just so awful damage-wise. Like, it's actually really bad. That Covenant ability does no damage. Like, it's okay maybe for like Affliction Warlock, because it's an extra dot to add towards your burst, so that's more rapture damage. But even rapture damage is going to be less on the next expansion, next patch, I mean. So, man, it's going to be... I really want them just to amp it, just buff it by 200%, like every aspect of it. Buff the covenant ability by 200%, then we'll see more people play it. Because I think it would be really cool if Ventier, like Ventier can kind of sort of work your Mythic Pluses if you need a Ventier buff for your Mythic Plus group, or if you just want more AoE, because that ability apparently does respectable AoE damage. But it's just so bad overall, man. Doesn't nerf Ventier Warlock ability 3 times during late stages of beta. They gotta go back, buff it back up, you know what I mean? Turn it back up. How's it going down? What's up, Shambles? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one, my dude. Hey, down back. What's up, Alessandro? How you doing, fam? Nice mustache. Thank you so much, Julian. Appreciate you. It's not perfect, right? This side is a little jank, but at least it's been a little bit better than before. It's been getting a little better. I've been trying to kind of tease it into position a little bit better. There we go, boys. Christina advertising and Shadowlands text discussion. Dude, let's go, dude. 5V5 1v1 war games. Let's go, boys. What's up, Spencer? How you doing, my guy? Hope you're having a good one, boys. We're trying to get a group together for 5v5 1v1 duels over on the PTR patch 9.1 test term. We got Alex with a 4-man group. Just needs one more on Alliance. And Chicago, I think, has a horde group, potentially. Yeah, they gotta do something for the Ventier ability. I think they gotta give it more base damage, but they give it like, because it technically doesn't have any capture AoE. Wait, we have 2 alliance groups? Really? Does anybody want to start a horde group? We have 2 alliance groups. Is Chrysler Alliance 2 or is Chrysler horde? Is Alex horde? No, Alex is horde then. Okay, no mind. That's why I can see him. Blood of Paladin. I'm dumb. I'm gonna get crisis with Alex, isn't he? So Chicago's Alliance group. Alex is a horde group, so we're trying to get +1 on the horde. Might be, boys. Might be. I have a question. Do you think Nightfay Boomy will be back? Will take back Best Covenant 9-1? I mean, right now it's the best, right? Right now, Boomy is the best. Was Ventier Warlock started, and so it takes 400 damage. I swap. Dude, I talked to a Warlock the other day, actually like a month ago now at this point. I'm with Alex. Sounds good. Sounds good. And he was a Ventier. He was in a Ventier order hall. I was like, yo, what made you want to play? He was like, yo, Dal, love the videos. I was like, hey, I see a Warlock in your Ventier. What made you want to play it? He's like, dude, I just like the Mog, and like, I just like the play style. Like, it's not the best, but like, I just have more fun with it than like Faye. I was like, you know what? That's cool, man, because he was 2100 RBGs. He plays Destro. I'm like, hey, you know, power to you, like, dude. I love people just play the Covenant that they like, because that's how I started with Ventier or my Rogue. Like, the damage differences in terms of sims for rogues just weren't super different from one another time. So like, Ventier ability just was not as easy to play with as Kirin. Kirin was just, you press the button, it does a bunch of damn, boom. That's it. Ventier ability has that haze buff, has a little bit of damage behind it, but it's kind of like whatever. Now that they buffed it, it's a little much, they're much better. Like, Necrolord is better, Ventier is better, because there were the guys behind, and it's a lot closer. But what's funny is Kirin fell behind in a sense. Kirin is now only slightly behind, but still people swap, dude. They just abandon it together. Jump ship. Yeah, I think they need to buff that one. That's the playstyle I think should get buffed, because it's just so weak. I've been trying out my monk for the last few days. Man, Windwalker is fun. I'm glad you like it, dude. Windwalker is a blast. Like, my Windwalker isn't super geared, but every time I play it, it's a blast. According to Rudar, he says Necro, Kirin, Nightfay, not really according to Rudar. He says Necro, Kirin, and Nightfay. Kirin is really good, more consistent damage, but Kavokas also has a defensive value. Are you talking PvP, or are we talking about PvE? That's, I guess, the question. Yeah, that's what, are we talking about PvP, specifically like arenas and battlegrounds, RBGs, or are we talking about, like, Mythic Pluses and Raids? Because in Mythic Pluses and Raids, or I guess we'll need a new Legendary due to both nerf. Well, you probably won't run both. There's some things that people have talked about, like in my guild. Some of the boomies talked about how maybe they'll play Ventier for like PvP. So from a PvE standpoint, they talked about how you might play Ventier, and you might play the Fury of Elune, and then a Fury of Elune every minute together with your Celestial Alignment. That might be the playstyle going forward. Maybe you could play Necrolord for like the dot heavy central playstyle. Another boomy that does PvE and does PvP says he's most likely was going to stick to Nightfay and play the Nightfay Legendary of 1 minute combo that might end up being the better all-rounder option. It's really not bad, and it does line up with CE a little bit better. It might be an okay choice. As for PvP, he's either thinking maybe go Necrolord just for PvP, but he's also thinking of like something that's going to go good for PvP RPGs primarily at 2400, and also is going to be decent in raids. He's thinking Necrolord for boss damage and single target, or maybe just. And you can just always send in bear form and just never get CC'd by anybody and run flags on whole bases. Or he's thinking maybe. So right now he says Necrolord or Fae. He's probably still thinking say Fae. But he's also thinking from it from a PvP/PvE perspective. As for PvE, I still think Convoke is going to be exceptionally strong. Like, even though Boats is going to nerf, I still think it's going to be pretty good. I'll be very surprised if a lot of druids did make a swap. As for PvP, I think it's a whole nother gameplay. My monk is Panda. I'm completely embracing the Kung Fu Panda. Embracing the vibe? Let's go, dude. Let's go. I'm glad you enjoyed him, my dude. Yeah, we have a guildie who plays a Windwalker Panda. A monk Windwalker Panda in the team 2. And they seem to do pretty well in team 2. So do you liking it? Plus, you also have the Epicurean buff, which is actually the best for PvE for monks. I'm looking up hero damage, but you could go Blood Mallet too. Let me see. I want to say Panda won't be the worst, but like, what is actually best? Probably Orc, right? There's a guild of mine is Orc. Orc is slightly ahead. Tauren, Opera, Pandaren. Yeah, Pandaren is really not the worst. Like Nightborn could be better. Could be worse, right? Could be worse. But yeah. What about Blood Mallet? Because it's a good idea to check all the different sources. See what they're running, see what sims for them, and find the best median races. Let's see what races are the best. So it looks like Orc for both of them is slightly ahead. Here you see the percent damage differences. Like Orc at most you can get about a 1.6% difference gain against everybody else. But like you can see Orc right here number wise, 6,733, and then you have Panda at what? Pandaren at 665. So like it's double digits difference. Like if double digits isn't a huge difference for you, then you know, then it's not a huge difference. You know, maybe it's like less than 100 different, actually a little over than 100 differences. Mega Orc and Orc here. I wonder why they have because here they have the lowest Nightborn, and Mega Orc is actually a little bit ahead, but also they have different talents too. I feel like the difference is just so small, like it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Alex, how we doing? We still need one more for Horde 5V5 1v1 Duels. If you guys want to join the duels on the PTR, test out some of the new stuff, premier group, custom PvP, find the group, top number 5 in the search, and you're good to go. We have one more dude. We got ourselves Cranksy, we got ourselves Alex, Kryzer. They just need one more boy, dude, and they're good to go. Was it because of the stun duration? For PvP, yeah, the stun duration is huge. As for like Mythic Pluses and PvE, I think Orc just sims really well because it's a 3-minute cooldown that goes into your Zoen that's up every single time. Because you are very city reliant as a monk. You had some good damage outside of cities too, but you are pretty much city boy all day, you know what I mean? Like, if your cities are up, you're pumping. If they're not up, you're doing okay damage, but you're not like big pumpy. You know what I mean? I would suggest check it out. Snoopy, both Necro and Nightfade are really good. Yeah, Snoopy is a really good boy, dude. Swedish meatball. He's actually a super nice guy, honestly. He's a pretty good resource for Ferals and PvP. There's a lot of good resources out there, but he'll be one of the better ones that I know of. Also, just a really friendly guy. Just a genuinely nice guy. What's up, Sam? How you doing, fam? I'm thinking go say Nightfade on my druid, pretty much because I want to level Renown again. Yo, Renown catch-up is going to be so much faster next patch. You don't even know, dude. We might be able to get Renown just for doing a world quest. If it's that quick, then switching won't be that bad at all. Like, let's be honest here, right? Eventually, like, the catch-up mechanisms are going to be active pretty early for people that want to switch. So maybe 9.1 will be the best time to switch. Like, you can take the time to switch now. It doesn't take that long. It is a little bit of, like, you know, doing stuff for quite a while. But otherwise, like, it's really not bad. It's really not bad. And I've been to the end here. Did you just jump off? I guess you can, right? Nothing stops you. Also, everything for me looks nice and not like super maw consumed just yet. Still need one more for Alliance boys. Will be good to go. Just or for the Horde, and we'll be good to go. Just started Survival Hunt. What company should take? Necro, Ventier? Out of those two, ooh, Ventier, I like Ventier currently right now. Necrolord's looking kind of interesting for Mythic Pluses in the next patch with the new Lego they're getting. I'm actually super excited for that playstyle. I might go Necrolord myself, honestly, if the Legendary pans out. I'm really hoping the Ventier Legendary ends up working out kind of okay too. Like a decent single target and AoE cleave Legendary. Like I'm really hoping for the best one there, boys. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping for the best one, dude. Because those are actually really cool. Like the idea, hey, transforms into cleave and AoE with some single target potential. That's pretty good. Explosive shots? Explosive shots? That's really good with the Necrolord. It's actually a lot of AoE. Let's see how Broton and I do, my man. We're looking for one more Horde Boy on PTR. We'll be good to go for the 5V5 1v1 Duels, man. Tried Necro once, finding a place, still not my thing. I saw the buys do more damage than my dog, so I'll back to Nightfall really quick. Yeah, Pharaohs are pretty big on bites right now. I also tried to make Necrolord a PvE thing too. I tried to make it work for PvE. I tried it my best, man. I'm swapping back to Night Fae as we speak. I still need to get a key down on my druid this week, but I'm slowly but surely swapping back to Fae. Like I want to play Feral, and if Blizzard cannot make the bleeds do more for Necrolord Feral in PvE, in PvP it works out just fine. Like it scales pretty well. In PvE though, it's just not worth it. It's all single target damn, and it's like, I was thinking like if the damage is at least there for like a really complex playstyle, then it's worth. But it's a complex playstyle and you don't really get the same damage, so you basically could do less. You could do active less and generate more damage if you just were to play Night Fae than if you were to play Necrolord, do more and then get less out of it. Which I really think Blizzard needs to rebalance that part, right? If there's a Covenant, we have to do more to play it. More like attention, more meticulous gameplay for it. It should just net out more damage baseline. It just automatically should be better damage wise if you have to try harder at it, because like that should be a good playstyle to go forwards. Is it more difficult to play? It's gonna net out more damage. Is it easier to play? It shouldn't be bad on damage, but it shouldn't be as like the more complex playstyle should always be more damn, no matter how you view it. That's how I see it, man. Tater match. We got Alex and Chicago. We're ready for the 5V5 1v1 Duels on the PTR, boys! We'll try to make as many of these as we can. Let's hope we get a bit of variety, and hopefully we'll see some new Honor Talents this week. I want to see some new Honor Talents, new Legendaries. Let me know in the DMs on Discord if you guys are running a new Legendary, new Honor Talent. Let me know, because I will be very, very interested to see what you guys are running, what you guys are rolling. You know what I mean? Anything new. Necro PvE Dream would be the best. Dude, I would love it. That's what Blizzard needs to do. I'm just wondering, is there new beaches in Shadowlands? Right now? No, they changed up that one with the Panda BG. They changed it up a little, but I don't think they did anything specific though. They changed up the Dupin Gorge, but that's not for Shadowlands in particular. Switch. We got ourselves Team 1 together with Broton as a Feral with Buff Warrior as a Necrolord Arms Warrior, Grim Grip as more of that, Ventier Fury with Christina as a Paladin, and KYB as a Shadow Priest with a new Shadow Priest talents. We got ourselves on the other team, we got ourselves Chicago, we got ourselves your boy Seamark as Arcane, as a Necrolord Arcane, I don't even know how to say your name. Spencer, and we got ourselves Yandex. We're gonna have to figure out what we can do with Swill. Swill, is that what we call him? Stormbolt out of Buff Warrior as Chicago rolls up as a dwarf with a new customizations. Looks actually so good. Big old warrior going huge, massive avatar, banners up. Trying to see if he can catch up to Chicago, trying to see if he can maximize the damage. I wonder if anybody here is running new Honor Talents. I wonder if Chicago is running the new Shield Honor Talent to be able to knock people back. Or static charge stone by any measure. I wonder if that'll be a thing. Chicago though, trying to see if he can tussle with the muscle. Buff Warrior so far doing a-okay. Surviving Chicago actually controlling the fight pretty well. Is gonna get himself a little bit of a ignore pain rolling quite early. Gonna be a Kyrian. Is that a Kyrian totem for Chicago? Wait, you just dropped down Vesper totem? Wait, you are Kyrian. Look at your back piece. Wait a second. Are you trying out the new Lego with the Vesper totem? Is that what that is? I really can't tell. I think he's Ghost Wolf. No, he is Ghost Wolf Legendary. 100% Ghost Wolf Legendary Warrior. Try to back away as the Thunder comes out. The buff isn't going anywhere just yet. Another Stormbolt getting set up. Does go into battle stance against Chicago. Trying to max out the damage. Big to Stormbolt to Chicago. We're just going to try to see if he can bail out of there for the time being. Oh, interesting, dude. Carrion, double lethal warrior. Trying to see if he can get the hell out of there. Is that legendary he's rolling? Strong totem going around the corner. Buff warrior is going to trick it out of the lane. Parry over to Chicago. Wolves are joining the fight. Are going to start nipping in the butt of the warrior. Fleshcraft is up for the man himself. They should be able to maintain himself quite a bit. If you can overlap constantly that Fleshcraft together with Ignore Pain, I'm pretty sure it will offset even the damage that the Fleshcraft will take into the Ignore Pain. That is just a nice way to offset any kind of damage. Battle sets coming down for Warrior as he did cover quite a bit of health. That Fleshcraft shield is a shield, but it can't be purged. It can't really be removed by anything. So it's essentially, effectively, is basically his health, since it holds on for a whole 2 minutes. Could be shorter. Warbreaker coming down for buff Warrior. This time with Chicago. Trying to even catch up. Bladestorm coming out. Cannot quite catch up to Chicago. Able to maybe nip them here and there while Bladestorming, but that's about all he can do at the moment. Pop back in the defensive stance while Chicago is giving him a little bit of a breather. Letting this guy just sit in defensive stance while Chicago catches up. Stormbolt meeting him up the pillar. And it looks like Chicago is playing mostly the same build, mostly the same enhancement build that he does on live. No new honor sounds this time. Also, I do need to bring up that one website, dresswar.com, that actually has all the new class changes for 9.1, all the new honor sounds, so we can kind of see them for ourselves. For Warrior, I think it's mostly not too much. I think all they have is the Warbringer. Actually, is Warrior running Warbringer? Does his charge land a stun? Looks like the battle shout wears off. The Ghost Wolves are there, and Chicago wasn't even anywhere near them, just letting the Wolves kind of just maul him apart. Grim Grip up next. Last time, the amount of healing this guy suppressed with his Ranger Blows was absolutely insane. Coming in as a Venthyr Fury Warrior. We'll see if those rampages put pressure onto Chicago. Chicago does sneak away a heal in between. Bladestorm as the stun totem comes out, and Grim Grip making sure to disable the Bladestorm as soon as it's Chicago coming out away from the stun totem as soon as that thing is out. Grim Grip does need to get himself a big raging rampages in order to make sure that the healing that Chicago has is denied. Chicago not really moving the carrion totem. I think is blasting healing and damage, but Grim Grip is nowhere near it. So you kind of have to stand next to the totem to get the full value. And Chicago is able to actually get himself a little bit of healing. Grim Grip does get a charge off by the totem or one of the wolves. Take it out, but also get himself a little bit of rage. Has himself the constant rage generation. As long as he gets 2 rage blows back to back, he'll have constant rage regen as well as a little bit of healing. Stormbolt locking down Chicago. Might have wished he went for double charge here, but a Stormbolt to lock people down is going to be quite nice. Doris Shadow's trying to see if he might be able to juke away from Chicago. The Ghost just keeps him running. Can't really go, and I guess you can hamstring it, but the reduction was slow. The slow reduction the Ghost will get, I mean, it's going to be super hard to catch up with them anyway. Chicago actually quite a bit of pressure. If Grim Grip is running Slaughter, then Chicago will have a hard time healing every time those rampages come off. And as long as Grim Grip has the full thing of rage, he should be in a good spot. A quick Bladestorm, Rich Chicago does get away from that Thunder. If he can get it with a rage blow, he might be okay. Or a rampage rather. Chicago is actually out of mana completely. I don't know how their position was with Maelstrom. Needs a bit of mana. Does recover a little bit of health while in Ghost Wolf though. Trying to be super careful against the Fury Warrior who can turn it around on the Enhancement Shaman at any time. Stormbolt locking him down. Does drop down Vesper Totem. Could be a lot of healing for Chicago. Grim Grip trying to get himself some rage rolling. Get himself a rampage in order to lock down Chicago on the amount of healing that they can get. Chicago does get himself a pretty big heal. Trying to stay away from the Slaughterhouse stacks. Every time he gets himself a big old rampage. Stun totem coming down. Grim Grip could actually be taking a bit of damage right now. Might have to pop a defensive here. Big Thunder for Chicago. Does go for the Fear of Wolves running in a separate direction. And Grim does go for as much aggressive play where Chicago still tried to lock him down. I'm guessing he's playing Slaughterhouse, but again, really difficult to tell what Honor Town he's really running. Chicago, though, still alive for a little bit. Does sneak away this healing surges from time to time. He's not spamming healing surges. It looks like he tries to get in combat with Grim. then tries to get away. I'm guessing because Slaughterhouse stacks are on him. Waits out Slaughterhouse stacks, then pops his health off full. Because otherwise it's a 60% healing reduction. Which Grim Grip has quite a lot of pressure just constantly generated. Sipping Cup coming out for Chicago as the steward comes in. Drinking for Chicago out of that stun gun. The Wolves are back up and running. Gonna be under quite a lot of pressure from the healing. Big sound onto Grim with a little bit of damage. Goes into Ghost. So maybe they could get him some kind of a heal. That's gonna be massive condemns chasing after him. Chicago needs to wait out. Does go for a big heal as soon as the man is there, and as soon as Slaughterhouse debuff falls off. Grim making sure to take down the Vesper Totem. That is something. Most people don't really go after Vesper Totem, but then again, you don't really see that totem that much. If you guys are not aware what the Shaman Kirin Totem does, it's called the Vesper Totem. You drop it down. Your next 3 abilities will have it puff out Arcane Damage AoE. Next 3 healing abilities are going to puff out heals. You have 3 charges of damage, 3 charges of heals, no matter the spec. So it does have a little bit of hybridness to it. So you got to making sure to burn the Maelstrom off with some lightning bolts. Big wall available. The Dwarf Rachel comes out. Still under a lot of pressure from Grim. The condemns and the rampages are just a lot for him to deal with. Those condemns in particular just hurt right now. Has another rampage ready to go. Chicago tried to sneak away a heal in between. Chicago is getting massive healing while in Ghost Wolf though. Stormbolt by Grim. It looks like Chicago's under a lot of pressure. Still in Ghost Wolf, so he's getting a little bit of healing. Does get himself a small heal as Grim stacking up that rage. And actually decided to use a lot of the rage for his own defensive. His own self-heal. Very interesting. Did he go for the Ventnir shield too? Is that what that was? That's a pretty big shield actually. I'm starting to wonder where that came from. I think part of it was ignore pain. But then it's like he had a second set of shield on top of the first layer. Interesting. Grim though still trying to catch up to Chicago. Chicago has been able to avoid the Fear Word so far pretty well. Just with Ghost Wolf alone around the pillar. Just trying to avoid him as best as they can. Grim does play into the Draven shield to give him a shield every time he lands himself a Doro Shadow's teleport, which is every minute. And most likely has actually, I think while he's under 50% health, he actually has a shorter CD of this if he has the expanded Soulbind. Chicago finds him super low. Could be lots of pressure. Grim does put up a full setup with the Rampage. Big condemns flying in right now. Chicago trying not to get interrupted. Does get interrupted on the hill. And Grim comes down with a big condemn. Seavark not playing the triple shield legendary, so it looks like he's playing some kind of an aggressive legendary. I'm guessing the one with missiles into barrage, if I had to imagine. Trying to see if he can land a poly onto Grim. Has a reflect. Does go for a fire blast to reflect a big old blink away from Grim. And does go for a big old Arcana Sphere. While the Necrolord thing is a massive sphere coming down with an Arcane Blast to follow. Trying to make those blasts do a ton of damage. Chasing after Grim. And that's going to be Grim trying to get himself a bit of a charge. It's going to be all to time out for Seavark in case Grim got lots of damage. Uses also from ability. Big old interrupt with Seavark as he's trying to get himself a Fleshcraft up and running. The images come down to give Seavark a bit of a defensive. Still holding on to the Necrolord stacks, dude. He's just emanating with power as the Necrolord right now. What is this? What legendary is he running? That is my question. My question is, oh, I actually wonder if he's running that one where on Arcane Blast you have a chance to make your Necrolord ability Deathborn proc. I wonder if that's the playstyle he might be going for. Grim Grip tried to see if he might be able to get a port to Seavark. Going to be Arcana Sphere. Big old knockback as Grim leaps in. Seavark actually was able to send it out just a little bit earlier. Big missiles coming in. Most likely playing the Barrage legendary if I had to guess. He has to be. There's no way he is not. Whirlwind should be getting Seavark out in the open. Does pop Invis though, and when an Arcane Mage uses a big old Invis, that's he does get like a 60% DR. Trinket for Grim out of that root. Actually decided to go for a trinket out of that root just to catch up to Seavark. He just played super aggressive. The poly is going to give him a full reset and a catch up for health. And so is Seavark going for a little bit of food himself. Did Mages get anything new recently? I don't think they did. Huh. Grim catching back up to Seavark. Does have a bit of a temporal, so it's going to give him a little bit of health back. Tried to go for a knockback onto Grim. Didn't quite work out. Stormbolt off of that ultra time leap, and then Bladestorm up and running. And Seavark is under quite a bit of pressure. Battlemaster Trinket getting used. And Grim getting kind of frozen up above. While Seavark trying to go for a bit of a reset yet again. Sitting down for even more food. We are at the 10-minute mark. The first duel, actually, the first duel with Chicago and the Arms Warrior was a pretty long one, but also Grim and Chicago were really tussling back and forth. Grim putting pressure on Chicago, Chicago going for resets, just really have enough damage. Looked like he was playing defensively the whole time, trying to maintain his healing. Maybe that's part of that Kyrian playstyle, just the Kyrian maybe just didn't add enough value damage for what he was trying to do. Seavark making sure to get himself a full flash guy back up and running. That's going to be his extra shield to work with here. Missiles flying at Grim. Does reflect one of those missile charges away from Seavark. That's going to be a polymorph up next. Touch of the Magic getting set up. Trying to go for a big Arcana Sphere with full rune of power. Everything. Big damage under Grim. Does he have a big barrage to follow? A massive barrage right after a touch of the Magic connecting. Grim did have to go for Enrage Regeneration in order to deal with the damage. Full wreck is available. And Seavark trying to see if he can avoid him as best as possible. Sending up barrages, trying to keep him slowed. Grim actually got a condemn. I don't even know how he got a condemn there, but he did get a condemn without even being next to Seavark. Storm Bolton making sure Seavark doesn't just continue missiling him from above. Grim is a little bit behind on health. Blaze Storming to get out of route, charging back to Seavark. The Seavark, how many ways out of it, has mobility for now, has the barrages in order to keep the slows rolling onto Grim. So far, the warrior needs to reconnect with Seavark, lock him down with a Stormbolt, and get himself some heals. Arcana Sphere coming in as Grim try to get closer, try to go for a Reflect. Doesn't reflect the Arcana Sphere, does reduce his damage by 20% while it's up. Seavark popping an Invis with food immediately. Grim is actually looking kind of grim. 43% dampening. This man so far has been able to heal plenty. He's been able to do plenty of damage as well. Stormbolt versus Seavark. Does he have a way out of it? No blinks. Looks like Grim is going to be able to catch up a little bit of health, a little bit of like no pain, making sure he's using his another trinket for the root just to keep chasing up Seavark. Does reflect a barrage back to Seavark, has an alter time available, and should be able to alter time behind Grim if he needs to. Does give himself quite a bit of a distance. Grim is able to remove his slows from time to time, but only sometimes. Only sometimes he's able to deal with it. Full poly into Grim does give him that reset, as Seavark is trying to get a bit of a reset himself. Grim so far has had the best sustainability of everybody here in this duel. The warrior, dude, just like bringing it back to the good old days, dude, where warriors had the great sustain, but also he puts more pressure on enemies. And I believe if he is running Slaughterhouse, someone's gonna have to catch, make sure for me. Like Christina might have to make sure. It should be a huge, huge damage out of him. Seavark's Lego. Arcane Harmony. Okay, so he's playing the Arcane Misses one. Yeah. That makes sense. Try to go for a Reflect versus Seavark with Poly. Didn't quite work out. Trying to door Shadows. Does he get the interrupt on Seavark? He does not. Big old charge coming in. Seavark does have a Fleshcraft rolling with a bit of slows for Grim. Needs those missiles to set up. But as soon as he tries to go for Grim, even though Grim puts himself in the root, he will stun Seavark just to lock him down for a second. Seavark landing a full Poly versus Grim. Able to catch up on a little bit of health. Another poly right after. The healing is not as good anymore. 53% dampening. Does have himself full arcane missile set up. Grim does go for a Reflect. Some of those missiles fly back to Seavark. Just trying to avoid the Touch of the Magi damage. The Touch of the Magi is going to do minimal damage. Arcana Sphere getting set up can definitely launch it behind the pillar. And Grim is going to get knocked back from with a barrage after. More slows from the images as the Nova comes in. Seavark trying to see if he has a good angle. Grim could turn around and start attacking the images if you want to. Stormbolt and Seavark does connect, even though Seavark went for a blink. If only he delayed that blink by a hair. That Stormbolt pose, blink, normal blink, not even shimmer. Was a little unfortunate. Seavark under lots of pressure. It's going to be Icebox, Shattering Throw coming out. Seavark again, Condemn just meets him to the face as soon as he comes out. That is a rough play, dude. Not only does Grim, as long as he's playing Slaughter, and Brochan I think can confirm it. Yep, he's playing Slaughterhouse. The Slaughterhouse, again, is basically, think of it, sharpened blades. Every time a warrior rampages, it's a 4-part hitter. Like it's 4 hits in a single rampage. Every time he hits an enemy with a rampage, he reduces the amount of healing they get by 15%. That stacks 4 times to a 60% healing reduction. With how often this man can rampage, I mean, it's basically up constantly. It's not quite a Mortal Strike effect from Arms Warriors, but when timed right, it is perfect. And Spencer actually just getting... Oh my goodness! Spencer just actually got run over! I don't even know what happened. Swell is going to be up next. We'll call you Swell. Oh, he's Swell. Because this man is doing Swell. It's actually SLWV. Swivel? I really don't know. Grim trying to see if he might be able to maintain his sustain versus his Feral Trinkets out of the Stormbolt. 63% DR, or dampening into this duel right now. Fear onto Feral. While Grim is just trying to see if he can buy himself some time. When Rage Regeneration does come out, Roar onto Grim, does have a Zerk Rage out of it. That's going to be reckless. He's trying to stay next to Swill, trying to go for Bloodthirst as often as possible. Does get maimed super far away. Can you reconnect with the Feral? Trying to see if you can reconnect. Big leap, but still trying to deny any kind of healing for Grim. Grim does get himself last bit of Ignore Pain, trying to see if he can condemn down through the Feral. Act no health at all, bashed by the Feral. Grim has all the dots in the world. Samsung turns it around onto the Feral right before he goes down. What just happened? Oh my god. Jesus, dude. Oh no, Yandex is the last one left. This warrior, bro. He plays one-handed. Is he? I think that's actually a two-hander. I think that weapon is actually a two-hander. It's a massive butcher's two-hander, I believe. My god. This warrior is out of control. Broton is up next with Yandex. Damn, dude. Oh my goodness, I guess that Feral, that was a close one, by the way. That Feral, I think, was just chopping dots and just run away, get away from the guy. Yandex going up versus Brochon, going to be a Thorns as well as a Barkskin. Yandex, most likely is playing the very defensive playstyle for his Frost DK. Trying to get some big blitz onto Brochon. Does he have the big rip? It looks like he doesn't. Regrowth available for Brochon. It is worth remembering, by the way, that Yandex does have quite a bit of lag over on PTR. It does have quite a bit of lag on PTR, so if there's some weird movement, weird actions, or a delay, there's most likely is an actual delay over for his realms and the duels themselves. Big old wall available for Broton. Is just trying to get some bleeds into Yandex. Is going to give himself a flash card to deal with the dots. And as long as he doesn't let Broton catch a reset, he'll be in a good spot. I wonder what kind of build Yandex is rolling though for this one. Big old Frostworm's Fury stun to Broton. I think Yandex is going to be able to take it down. Does play the silence, most likely got the Spell Warden. That's going to be giving him a shield every time he takes damage from magic abilities. That's about the best of the Death Knights can do. Kib up next as a Shadow Priest. Trying to see if he might be able to make a play here. Shadow Priest does get himself Void Eruption. Does not play the new Honor Talent with Shadow Priest by the looks of it. Whenever he does for Void Eruption. Going to be a Shadow Grass versus Yandex. Trying to see if I'm able to deal with it. Fiorent Yandex for a second. Got himself a massive heal from Shadowlands. Still might be able to do it. Actually, no. He is playing one of the new talents. He's able to run while casting. He got himself the... What's it? You know what he's got going on? He got himself the... Wow, what's it called? Surrender to Madness on a talent. Trinket 4... Kib is just trying to see if he might be able to deal with Yandex. Does get taken down. I wonder if Surrender to Madness is what taking him out. So I gotta actually bring that one back up. That Priest on a talent. So it's a Shadow Priest thing. Hopefully it's out of here. Megalomania. Gain Surrender to Madness talent. When Surrender to Madness would kill you, it would rather reduce it to 35% of maximum health, which could be pretty good. Yandex went up versus Christina. Like I said, just throwing down the holy damage. What can you do about it? Oh my god, Grim, you are absolutely fantastic, my guy. Have we ever played with Grim on live? Has Grim ever joined us? And I thought it was like a Grim for the Warrior. I know, right? Is that Krager? Is that just Krager on an alt or something? I don't understand, dude. This Grim guy is insane. What? Is he an EU or is he an A? I actually have no idea. But that was insane. As for Shadow Priest, I think I saw Megalomania out of him. Hopefully we'll have the Shadow Priest have another, 80%, 60% damage. Pretty rough out there. But I wonder, hopefully we'll see Shadow Priest test out maybe the Void Volley and the Megalomania. It looked like Megalomania was used, which gives the Shadow Priest, I've been trying to say this whole time, Surrender to Madness, which basically gives you more sanity generation and movement while casting. And when it ticks out, it usually kills you. But with the Honor Talent, it actually brings you to 35% health. Can it give you health, or does it do like basically 65% of your damage as health damage? Like, what's the... If you already have this talent, you miss another talent in the same row, which would be very interesting, actually. So basically, get an extra talent just for PvP. Modified version, which could be cool. Alrighty, boys. Let's get another open running, yeah? I'm actually really interested with Megalomania, as well as Void Volley, dude. I think that would be really, really cool to see. Especially with like all the shadow crashes all around you. Yo, Chicago, let me know when you're ready. We'll be good to go, my guy. Unless you want to swap some people out. PTR SL. How many have we done? 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22. 27. Damn. That was so cool, by the way. 5? Alright, cool. Ready to go. Again, if you guys want to test out some of the new honor talents, or some of the new legendaries, while we are on PTR, I think this would be the perfect time to do it. If you've always wanted to test out a certain build, right now would be the perfect time to try something new. Because, I mean, how often do you get to actually queue like arenas or battlegrounds or PTR to test stuff out? I feel like Blizzard needs to add more incentive for more people to be on PTR. I feel like there'd be more incentive if like they made it so only like 2 BGs are active at a time. So people can only do like some of the smaller BGs like Warsong Gulch and AB or something. And also if they added like ability for players to create template characters. Although the problem with that was there was quite a lot of people that were playing PTR, and you used to see it a lot more often. Quite a lot of people were used to see it on PTR that wouldn't be subscribed to the main game, but it would just make template characters all the time. But template characters I think would be really good. I think it'd be a really good idea to bring that back. Because if you want to try stuff out, you make a template character, get like some very, very basic gear. Like maybe like a full set of like Conquest gear at like, I don't know, 1800, so like 220. I think it would give a lot of players a lot more of an idea, like, oh, okay, these are my Legos, these are my things. Easier time to test things. They do have a vendor, PTR, legendaries, etc. They do. Yes, they have a legendary vendor, so you can actually craft one of every Lego if you wanted. There are some Covenant-specific Legos, so you have to be part of that Covenant to make that Lego. It's rough. Can't believe a sore arm and slightly fever and get vaccinated. Yo, Athman, hoping you're doing good, my guy. Thanks for just popping in, man. I'm hoping you're feeling better by next week. Hoping you're doing good. Are you going to play TBC? Are you excited for TBC? Are you preferred, my dude? Are you preferred, my dude? Grim is a god? Grim is pretty nutty, honestly. Skullbreaker, Loco Picopium, PYB. Wait. Is Chrysler the Grim? Is that what that is? Because we didn't get to see Loco P play. Or Chrysler. Was he part of the team one? Hard to tell. Hard to tell. Alrighty, boys. Let's get another one up and running. Seawork as a fire mage? Yo, is Seawork trying... Can someone peep Seawork? See if it's trying new honor towns? I want to see this. Switch. Because there are a lot of new honor towns for fire mages. I don't know if Seawork ever tried them. We got ourselves Team 1 together with Broton, Christina. We got KYB, Loco P, as well as Skullbreaker. Dude, look at like a beautiful unicorn. Beautiful, beautiful butterfly. Versus Team 2. We got ourselves on Team Chicago. We got ourselves Seawork as a fire mage. Swivel with Spencer as well as Yandex. I'm going to call the druid Swivel just because I really don't know what to call him, dude. Swivel just comes off like just that's just the first thing that I think of. Oh, you got yourself the Night Fae mount? That thing is cool. Did you get it from like a rare, or are you Night Fae in this guy? There's no way you're Night Fae in this, man, are you? There's no Kyrian. There we go. That was gonna say there's no way. Yandex taking quite a bit of damage from Christina. Trying to see if he can lock down Yandex. Is not quite able to get the full blind setup onto Yandex. Did end up breaking the blind tick with an auto attack. Yandex was able to survive the burst though. AMZ coming down. Not the greatest AMZ, but it is going to be pretty decent for PvP. Christina trying to see if he can bail out of there. Shield of Evidence rolling. And Yandex does survive the big burst out of the Retribution Paladin, sacrificing his main pet in order to deal with the damage going out still. But so far, he only had to Trinket and AMS. And he does, I think, play Silence. And I believe he plays... I don't know if he plays Remorseless Winter on a talent with the Roots of the Stun. I think Spell Warden. And there's got to be something else. Most likely plays the... Oh, I need to find it again here. What's that on talent for? DKs. If I can find it real quickly here. It might be Bitter Chill, where the Chain of Ice does reduce the haste of the enemy, which does slow down their gameplay, which for a Paladin would actually really bad. But Christina isn't deterred, still continues to smack big damage into Yandex. IBF and as well as AMS coming down for Yandex, trying to heal up as much as possible. Flashcraft should be able to get himself almost a full Flashcraft up and running. Christina did interrupt at the last second. Yandex does recover a little bit of health. Christina is still looking at okay, the second grippy hand coming out for Yandex. Trying to see if he might be able to slap around Christina with it. Big old grip. Christina having a hard time going anywhere. Big silence. Trying to see if he can get himself a little bit of a health. That sippy cup coming out from the Kyrian to get himself the smallest bit of healing, as well as removing any disease from Yandex, like frost fever and such. Yandex though still on Christina's toes, trying to see if he can still get away from the death that continued to kite circles around him. Shield Avengers is up, trying to see if he might be able to turn that damage around onto Yandex, turn that Shield Avengers defensive into a splashback offensive. Yandex, with that Lichborn, has plenty of death coils to fuel himself, to continue himself self-heal, with Chain of Ice and Christina slowing him down quite a bit. Yandex, though, looking like he has Death Pact, AMS, so he's actually rotated his defenses super cleanly. And normally Frost Ethics would be in a really bad spot. Looks like he's almost trying to just kite Christina out as best as he can. Chain of Ice is up, the Hand of Freedom stop it, preventing the Chain of Ice. But I wonder if still the bitter chill effect continues on Yandex. Trickens out of the blind. AMS is available for this burst. I think Spell Warden overlapping with AMS on top of it, so double the shield. Double bubble gameplay there. I think it's really hard to tell, or maybe he's not running Spell Warden this time. Trying to get some damage over Christina. That is Pillar Frost available. Trying to make this Obliterates do a ton. Silence under Christina. Might be a bubble. Does get the bubble out of him. Christina got Word of Glory to keep him up and running. Yannick sacrificing the pet. Does have himself Remorseless Winter. Tried to walk away from Christina. Maybe hit him with a bit of a slow. Death Strikes are coming out. Trying to see if he can deal with some of that damage. No dampening just yet. Christina is down on a bubble. Has Blessing of Protection to work with though. But Yandex, if you can get this Obliterates to be all frost damage, there's not really much Christina will be able to do with it. Not really looking good for Christina potentially if Yandex plays it well. But it is a Retribution Paladin. They can just turn around out of nowhere. Shield of Venus, as unfortunately Yandex is trying to see if he can prep himself some damage. Continue just to fuel all that holy power into Yandex. Hodge with the Seraphim up and running. Get himself a big old proc with Divine Toll. Big record to Yandex, does AMS it. Massive heal for Yandex. Shield of Venus, and Yandex actually avoided a lot of it with that AMS. Gonna be a dome coming down. Trying to see if they keep Christina in. It's gonna be a stun. Christina getting hit with the silence. Still able to get this Obliterates through. The Blessing of Protection. Christina is under lots of pressure. Continues to be getting gripped over and over. I wonder what legendary Yandex is running. Is he running the one with the grip, with the grippy hand? If that one grips an enemy in, it makes the enemy take more damage. Just from like a debuff? Is that a thing? Is that the ability he's going for? As for Christina though, out of immunities at this point, only with the trinket available, Yandex rotating his defensives as well as he can, but he's able to stand toe-to-toe with the Paladin, able to deal with the birds that the Paladin has gotten. As an IBF or a trinket available for the big lockdowns, IBF mostly for the sub, trinket for the blind go. So for Christina, it's been kind of rough to really lock Yandex down, but it's still able to get some pressure on him. Yandex does summon an extra pet. Big old Seraphim is available. Gonna be a trinket blinded to Yandex. If Christina can make the holy power damage work, Yandex taking a bit of a hit. Slime Shield does come out. Does get himself an AMS. Does have ABF too to deal with the damage. It's gonna be a full set of birds. Trying to see if he can deal with Christina. Having a hard time really facing Christina, but I think it is due to the PTR EU lag. I think they are U lag rather. Christina locked down with a silence for a second. Does sacrifice the pet in order to get himself a bit of heal. Christina continues to just keep pumping damage into Yandex. Lichborn is up. Death calling himself to full as best as he can. 4% dampening rolling up. Not reducing Yandex's self heals just yet, but it is definitely making it harder for him to catch up, but it's gonna get harder bit by bit. I wonder if he used the Draenor racial yet in order to give himself a bit of a self-heal. Try to get the Chain of Ice roll into Christina. Try to see if he can deal with that damage, but so far this death that he has been getting clobbered. Flesh got back up, does get himself a little bit of health to work with. If he has any kind of pressure, any kind of potential, Christina is out of immunities. 43 seconds on that bubble. If Yandex can somehow just get some cooldowns back up and then all in Christina, he could be in a good situation. I'm still wondering if he's running better chill on a talent, because that haze decrease, a big Gala slam down by Christina as Yandex was starting to get some of these cooldowns back up and running. That is actually super unfortunate. Christina did have quite a hell of a game just now. Seawork is up next, playing that fire. Triple shield legendary confirmed. Deathborn up and running, trying to go for a fire pyro. With a Ring of Fire on top of it. Wait, is that going to do damage? Christina does walk out a Ring of Fire. Going to do some damage right after. Pyroblast chucking out. Pyroblast are going to be able to, should be able to bust down through the damage of that Shield of Vengeance. I wonder if Seawork is playing with, the new honor talents. The one where your mastery burns for a lot more while you don't have combustion active. Is that a thing? Yeah, can someone peep some of the honor talents Seawork is running to send me a screenshot? I would appreciate it. But he is playing the new Ring of Fire. I know he's playing that for sure. As for the honor talents, I do wonder what he's running. All the time available for Seawork. That's going to be Christina. Try to see if he can take away all the time. Looks like it's still up for Seawork, so it should be A-OK for now. I do like the very much classic set of gear he's got going on, dude. That classic Alliance mage gear with the blade. Consecration is going to bust him out, though. Hits Crusader with the breath into yet another poly. Has himself the G-Pie up and running. Does he have the Ring of Fire to go with it? Ring of Fire is up. If Crusader touches Ring of Fire, he'll take a lot of damage. Meteor coming down. Lots of damage. Thrown down onto Christina. Phoenix Flames charging in. As Combust coming out for Seavark. Continue to blast through. Christina has bubble back up. If Christina isn't careful, if it doesn't bubble early enough, he might be in a bad spot. Big old breath of Christina does get himself a little bit of a self-heal. Pyroblast get it set up. Might just have to bubble it. Hodge onto Seavark, has a trigger for it. Nova, probably going to go for yet another G-Pie. Has to bubble this one, I think. Trinkets it. Big wreck onto Seavark. Wild Wings are up. Shield of Venus try to deal with the damage. Ring of Fire is going to end up clipping yourself. Breath onto Christina is going to take the damage from that Ring of Fire. Continue to try to heal through it as best as he can. Seavark under quite a bit of pressure now. Triple shields back up. Does get interrupted on fire. Is going to be a poly. And Christina doesn't have to worry about getting full health back up and running. So it looks like... Okay, so Seavark is playing the G-Pie, Ring of Fire, and he's also playing, I think it's Kindling. I don't think it's the new on its own. Big breath by Seavark as he does dip down quite low. Could have Ice Block here to get himself a self-heal. Could be a Cauterize Procken, but so far Christina has been able to survive the burst from the mage and the overall damage. Actually massive for him. Trying to go for Ring of Frost. Looks like Christina is going to deny it for now. Seavark does go for a little bit of food. Is going to recover just the smallest amount of eats. 9 minutes of this duel, 25% dampening. Christina does throw out Big Judgment. Is going to be a Cauterize out of Seavark. Does have shields to work with. Massive damage, but Christina with a wreck on top of it. Could be potentially Ice Block for Seavark. Is he going to have enough health? Does have enough health, barely. Still might be an Ice Block. Trying to see if he can get himself some food. Christina mounting up. I think it's going to be Ice Block here. Breath into a poly. Seavark might still be able to cheese out some damage to Christina for now. He still has health. He's not completely out of the woods. Ring of Fire right after. Ring of Frost actually into a Ring of Fire. He could either choose to stay in it or run out of it. Deathborn up next with a big old Meteor to follow. Ring of Fire collapses together with the Meteor. Everything while Deathborn is out. Shields are back up for Seavark. Christina is able to survive that burst so far. Blinding all those images, but Seavark doesn't blind himself just yet. Ultra time is up in case Seavark needs to. Oh, did he ultra time already? It looked like he might have ultra timed already. Just try to see if he can deny the Ice Block from Christina. Flash cut up, does get interrupted on it. Polymorph yet again. Just try to see if he can limit. Tricky back up for Christina right now. Hodge on the Seavark does Ice Block it. The massive Necrolord mage poking out of the Ice Block a hair. So I was just wanting to see if maybe he's running Controlled Burn, which where Ignite deals 100% more damage while Combustion is not active. But instead he's playing some of the more OG builds for Fire Mage. Which I think for him is either Tinder or maybe the one where Fireball gives Combustion back quicker. I think it's the one he's running. Firestarter? Bubble available for Christina? Actually burn a bubble. Wait, for Seavark it actually could be okay. Oh, he has the Ballistic Protection. Maybe he used Bubble because he knows he could win this. Trying to get a Polymorph onto Christina. Does he get it? No rebuke? At no health. Actually at no health. Seavark actually still alive somehow. Nova, that's going to be Hand of Freedom for Christina immediately. Breath by Seavark is able to at least keep Christina away. Ring of Fire does come through. Does it give you double the damage or does it just only once? Ring of Fire damage seems kind of low, doesn't it? It does tick out, but slowly over time. Might be good against groups. That's going to be a massive ultimate for Seavark at no health at all. Ring of Frost around the corner. Is the Paladin going to walk through it? Nope. Going to mount up though. Trying to see if he can disrupt the food ASAP. Does have the hammer, and Seavark is in that execute range. Massive temporal onto Seavark. Needs to get himself his shields back up and running. Big old G-Pie, Ring of Fire. Christina, there could be maybe potential lots of damage to deal with. Meteor, lots of damage. Actually got a massive combo. Flash of Lights is all he has to work with it though. Seavark almost actually just all in one, all in Christina just now. Combusted at the very last second there. Hodge Christina has to trigger for a big breath with a G-Pie yet again. I think he's going to just play aggressively here. Lining that G-Pie, trying to make sure he doesn't take too much damage. Seraphim back up. Christina has the big judgments, gets the procs. Most likely has the wreck. Flash cut up for Seavark. Does get himself a little bit of a shielding. Interrupt that flash cut for the last second. Huge hammer through that shield. And Christina does end up taking down Seavark. Swivel is up next. Got his head on a swivel as Christina is just decimating these boys. Blastic Protection immediately for those bleeds as Swivel went on with a full fair frenzy into a Blastic Protection. So he's gonna have to wait 38 seconds at the very least before he can get himself a full frenzy back up. Not playing defensively, just staying aggressive. Normal bubble or bop out of Christina, so he's probably thinking, you know what? I think I'll be okay. I'll put dots on him, and I'll just harass him, get in whenever he's trying to heal, maybe see if I can skull patch that heal. Outside of that, just let the dots melt the guy. As long as Swivel, he's holding on to a fleshcraft still for now. So he's A-okay for the time being. He's actually A-okay for now. Crazy. Gonna be a stun onto Swivel. Christina going in for that blind, playing very defensively. Dots up, wings up. It was Seraphim. Could make some big damage happen. Massive damage to Swivel. Actually could take him out. Trinkets and actually takes down the Feral. Oh no. With Chicago interrupting Christina as I try to get a heal. Chicago full ascendance up and running. Ghost Rules join the fight. Dots out the Vesper Totem. And Christina taking lots of damage though. Massive elemental blast by Chicago, taking him out. With some healing surges available, that Vesper Totem is going to provide some extra healing at 50% dampening. KYB. Can't swap to him. There we go. I was trying to find him for a second. Is up next as a Shadow Priest. I wonder if we'll see some of the new Shadow Priest Onitowns in here. I'm wondering. Or maybe legendaries. Are there any legendaries? Well, are any of them that good for Shadow Priest? I think the Necrolord one with the extra guy that does some free damage could be pretty cool. I don't think you can target him, so he's just going to damage for free. That could be pretty cool. Starting to KYB, Chicago approaching the fight. We're looking at things like Megalomania and Void Volume. Does he pop Megalomania? If he goes for a full Void Eruption without press it, Void Eruption, then that's Megalomania. Try to see if we can deal with the totems from Chicago. Is going to get hit with the Hex. He's actually A-okay for now. Chicago just setting up a full Vesper Totem setup. Big Sunder onto KYB. Shadow Crash is coming out. Big Void Volume versus Chicago. Actually can hit Chicago quite a bit with it. My Games is going to get interrupted on it. Chicago took a bit of damage from the Void Volley, dude. Shadow Crash is flying out when you do press Void Form. Sounds on the Chicago with the Mind Games. Chicago can't really heal himself. Hex is up and running. Tries to go for that execute. Actually, Shadowward Death does break AYB out of that Hex. Does get interrupted on Shadow yet again. That was Megalomania, by the way. So he does have a full Void Eruption, I think, still. And does take down Chicago. So he does have a second Void Eruption if he wants to. I think Megalomania gives you a free Void Eruption, but I think you do get a separate one, don't you? Or am I wrong on that one? Either way, that was Megalomania, brought KYB to a health. So it did shade his health to 35%, which could be used defensively. On a 1.5 minute CD with Soren to Madness, that could be pretty okay. Spencer tried to see if he might be able to match cells versus KYB. Is he also playing Necrolord? I think he is. Try to see if he might be able to swing around him. Shadow Crash around the corner. KYB try to see if he can get him out. Does go for a stun to Spencer. Mind Games to follow. No trick it out of it. Spencer's taking lots of damage from the Shadow Priest right now. Big DPs and a Mind Flay just to rot him down. Massive spell. Does he go for it? I think he was trying to see maybe if Spencer is going to go for... try to break out of it, try to interrupt KYB. And he tried to go for it. Deathborn up for Spencer. KYB does go for a Mind Control. Missiles missing. And I think KYB trying to maybe go for a Silence or a Fear onto Spencer. Yep. Fear right after. Does he have any damage to end this? Void Eruption. Try to put him in the Shadow Crashes. It does take him out. Oh my god. Those Void Volleys look so cool. I'm hoping that the Shadow Priest at some point will get to play full. But that was Christina on the Red Paladin. Yo. Big dammy. Var, how you doing, my guy? Any one free spot? Yo, if you want to swap some boys out, boys, that's the perfect time to do it, man. That's the perfect time to do it. That'll be the perfect time to do it. I'm glad Fire's so bad now. This is exactly what you want. Yeah, Seavark, what are your thoughts on, while I have you here in the chat, what are your thoughts on Fire Mages and Controlled Burn? Do you think there could be a potential play for it? Like to just get more sustained damage rather than bursty? Or what are you feeling? Would you be interested in trying it? Or play whatever you like, honestly. How you doing, by the way, my guy? You want to give Frost another go? I feel like we haven't seen Frost Mage in quite a while. Is it still pretty good? I bet you're excited just to play Arcane and be like, somebody's like, yo, play Fire. You're like, nah, dude. Nah, Fire ain't that good anymore. Because everybody's so pressured by the meta. Now you're going to have a lot of less of that pressure. I'm still hoping Mages will be good overall, though. But no Harbage will deal damage equal to pure damage class and still have such level of self-heals. You think so? You know, free spot, Var, you know? What's up? Yo, boys, if you want to pop Var in here, welcome to him. Yo, 1 sec, let me come to doo-doo because I can't play with a wheelchair pal again, Mages. Yeah, I feel you, dude. Ring of Fire can synergize really well with Frost DK grips. Yes, I imagine that too, Alpha. Like a DK will grip somebody into, like, use the Covenant ability just to start gripping people into Ring of Fire. That could be pretty cool. Arcane will be mid-tier. So is it going to be all Frost, or is it just mages falling off? How are you feeling? How do you think it's going to be? How does it feel? LoL can't play your class? What do you mean? How does BM hunters at the moment? I think they're pretty good right now. They should be pretty good next patch. Skugar, what do you think about it? You think BM is going to be pretty good? What's up, Sam? How you doing, my man, by the way? Hope you're having a good one. You know, GG? Man, that's a rough one, dude. That's rough. But Fire does definitely still have potential with the burst setup. But we'll see. Yeah, I was imagining maybe. No, I think it'll be all the same when it comes to Arena of Fire. You know, Frost is going to be the best mage spec by far. That's not above send. Okay, I see it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just kind of looking through the chat. I'm just looking through everywhere in the chat. 5? Yo, Boom got a team. Is that different from Chicago? Wait, does Boom have a separate team on PTR? Or is that same team with Chicago? Is that the same team as Alex? Did Chicago give Boom lead? Oh, wait, hold on. Which one is Boom? Boom. Spencer. So I think he is. Okay. Who is lead? Is it Boom or is it Chicago? Is it Boom or is it Chicago? It was a point of pure damage classes when hybrids do same level of damage, but their self heals are not tied to some dungeon dealing mechanics. I feel like if you were to do that in current WoW data, I feel like a lot of people would have a problem with it, because then basically like a Shadow Priest, Retribution Paladin, Enhanced Shaman, Feral Druid, any of those classes would just become mute. There'll be no point to them, right? There'll actually be 0 point to them. I feel like something like that works out in a classic, like classic CBC or classic vanilla, because classes have roles. They have very specific things that they bring to the game. And I think that's added some of the specific roles a little bit in some regard back in Shadowlands, but not to the point where like a Windwalker is completely actually awful DPS, right? Classes like a multi-role being bad at everything, I don't think that would fly. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people would be happy. I think more people would be unhappy than happy. So you can balance it in terms of just nuking down their damage, man. I don't think that's the play. I don't think that's the right way. Again, there's classic WoW, vanilla WoW, DBC that are going to have that in some regard, where like a Shadow Priest will be more useful, but not like top tier damage because they're a hybrid, but it'll be a bit better fitting for that. You know what I mean? All right, Alex and Chicago, actually, or Alex and Boom, I guess. Sounds good, fam. Sounds good. Chicago swapped. Chicago playing a different shaman or a different character altogether. Either way, I'm excited, dude. Either way, I'm excited. Dude, at some point, that Shadow Priest is going to have to be first to go. I feel like if that Priest had a chance to go before dampening super high, we'd be able to see some of those auto tiles, dude. But I don't know how you guys do your roles. You're welcome to do them any way you want them. There should be some sort of feeling, but reduced nowadays. You can cast 5 minutes and have like a Feral versus Red. Yeah, I feel like maybe, the healing part, I feel like you should be able to DPS properly. But like the healing should maybe be adjusted. I agree with you on that one. As for saying like, oh, a hybrid should do less damage, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think a lot of people will be happy. Yo, Fenu, can we get a hashtag Fenu in chat? Showing appreciation for membership, fam. Thank you so much. 3 months in a row. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much, Fenu. Oh, Fen to you. I think it's Fenu. I think last time you asked me to call you Fenu. I could be wrong in that one. Did I save that last one? Hope that I did. Here we go. Paintbreaker Lego is bugged, or I think it's absolute 0. Paintbreaker, which one is that one? What's up, Chris? How you doing, my man? How you doing, my dude? Alrighty. Switch. What do we got? We got Team 1 together with Broton, as well as Christina with Kib in the back. We got ourselves Lock, OP Copium, and Skull Breaker versus Seavark, coming out as a Frosty mage, trying to get some Frostbolts up and running. I do like the Seavark is trying to give Frost a bit of a run. Gonna be Skullbreaker with immediate reflect on the polymorph, not happening to Skullbreaker because of a Blade Storm. And it looks like, is this man playing Night Fade? Bro, he got like one shoulder and the chest piece of Night Fae, and he got the rest of them from like WAD. He kind of mixed and matched like a Mog going on. I kind of like it. Gonna be a big old charge by Skullbreaker, trying to get some damage onto Seavark, locking him out on Shadow. So Seavark is actually able to get full frost damage, double lockdown onto Seavark with knockdowns from the Fae ability. Skullbreaker charging in. He does look like he has a charge. Oh, they actually updated the animation, did they not? Wait, hold on. I think I know what this is. This is Warbringer. Charge roots enemies for 2 seconds, but it now has like a green, like a shatter effect behind the enemy when they do the charge. Seavark under quite a bit of pressure is going to go for a Deathborn, Ice Evades, Ice Form damage. Skullbreaker taking lots of Frostbolts back to back in terms of damage. Big shatter combos. Leaping in onto Seavark. Alter time is up, has a Rare Frost for a little bit. Skullbreaker, big old charge. Look at that shatter behind Seavark. That is the Warbringer talent, which allows you a 2-second root on a target. Warbringer, charge, roots enemies for 2 seconds, and emanates and shockwaves past the target, rooting the targets behind them for 15 yards. It actually looks so cool, dude. It looks like part of the Necro Covenant, honestly. But it looks fantastic. Blade Storm, trying to see if it can avoid the polymorphs from Seavark. Seavark under actually quite a bit of pressure. Finally getting a poly onto Skullbreaker. Rough start for him. But it's trying to see if he can make it work. Invis might be able to go behind like a pillar somewhere. Maybe catch up on foot. Skullbreaker making sure to pick up the eye. Searching for the mage. Should be able to see him and the elemental running away. Does get a Nova onto Skullbreaker. Does that put him in combat? I think it does. Reflect for the Frostbolts as the Common Storm comes down. Kind of crazy. Actually kind of crazy amount of damn going out, boys. Seavark trying to avoid Skullbreaker as best as he can. Trying to get a water elemental re-up and running. It looks like swapping out to different water or different looking water elemental, if anything. Skullbreaker does use the soul shape in order to just blink next to Seavark. Drop it down, frozen orb onto Skullbreaker. Does tank this damage up a little bit with Ignore Pain. Seavark got himself a full Alter time available. Skullbreaker making sure not to go super far away from the Alter time. Kind of wanted to stay in the middle, but does allow Seavark to play the monkey in the middle gameplay with him. Charge onto Seavark, locking him out on Arcane. Seavark just trying to get himself a bit of a setup. I think trying to go for a Shadow Man just now. And that's going to be a Blaze Storm, making Skullbreaker immune to CC. Ring of Frost getting set up. Paul, Skullbreaker is going to get hit by one or the other. Has a trinket, if anything. Does he have Seavark low enough in health? I don't know if he does. Maybe, potentially. There's going to be another repoly. Still holding on to the trinket for now. Going to be a Nova with full Common Storm coming down. Taking a bit of damage, but so far Seavark has had to play it very, very defensively. This warrior so far has been able to just outmatch him for quite a bit. Playing the double charge, so he does get to lock down Seavark quite a bit by the looks of it. At least I think he's playing double charge. I didn't see the Stormbolt out of him. Also, I like how one weapon has like a Night Fae-ish thing to it. Like this weapon here definitely matches the Smog, and this other weapon has a more of a Night Fae matchup to it. Actually kind of interesting. It's like a contrast. Gonna be a short blink for Seavark. Does get an Ice Form back up. He needs to get some big Frostbolts in during the Ice Form. Is gonna have himself a little bit of all time rolling. If he can shatter some of those Frostbolts too onto Skullbreaker, he'll be in a great spot. That Fleshcraft shield as well as the slime shielding that keeps coming up, it ends up keeping him super healthy. Blaze Storm up for Skullbreaker, just trying to immune the polys. Reflect the poly back at Seavark. Looks like this last poly can't really do much about it except charge it. Trinkets out of it. Seavark making sure to mash himself with shields as best as he can. Is going to go for a Deathborn, getting interrupted on Shadow. Able to finally get some Frostbolts for free onto Skullbreaker with some of the Ice Novas as well as Frost Novas. Able to get some of the Shatters damage rolling. Every time he's able to get a Frostbolt Shatter, he's in a great position, honestly. Deathborn comes out, which is going to increase his overall spell damage output by 15%. Trying to get another poly onto Skullbreaker. Getting that reflected yet again. Knocked down by the Night Fae Rachel coming out with a knockdown by the Torrent. Stun into another polymorph onto Skullbreaker. Finally, Seavark able to get himself a bit of a breather. So far, this Fury Warrior has been so aggro, dude. Absolutely aggro. Leaping in versus Seavark yet again is going to get rooted, but does have the soul ship to at least move a little bit here and there. Frostbolt's charging in. Is going to get a reflect for the last Frostbolt onto Seavark. Ice Form is available. Blaze to keep himself immune. Ice blocks are still available for Seavark, by the way. He hasn't used either of his true Ice Block charges. So he's been playing very defensively, and he still has big immunities, although Skullbreaker can remove it pretty quickly. Polymorph onto Skullbreaker, has no way out of it. Finally, Seavark able to walk away. As soon as this warrior is out of Polymorph DRs, this man is just rampaging like a bull, dude. absolutely just rampaging. Furious is looking fantastic in the next patch, by the way. Looks absolutely insane. Seavark, though, able to chill him out, able to ice the guy. Is going to be a Comet Storm coming down. Skullbreaker does bow out of it for a second. Seavark does have the perma roots, though. It's going to be yet another Frostbolt. The more of this he can get, the better. Interrupted on Frost does himself a blink. Going to be yet another charge by Skullbreaker into a poly. Has no trinket. That's going to be a full resummon for yet another pet. I don't know if Seavark maybe gets a new Novel for that pet every time he resummons one or what. Maybe we just want to make sure that his pet is healthy, so Skullbreaker doesn't just execute him randomly. Frozen Orb to Skullbreaker with Blizzard. Needs to keep him in that Frozen Orb as best he can for extra damage. Try to see if we can blink away another charge by Skullbreaker. And Seavark does have the Alter Time as well as the Flash Cut up, so he is pretty okay defensively. Just trying to get some Frostbolts out of the Skullbreaker. Polymorph trying to make a play, does get it off. Skullbreaker choosing not to Trinket since he does have DRs and Polymorph, so he's not going to sit it long at all. I wonder if he's playing Slaughterhouse the Honor Talent to give extra healing reduction. Nova onto Skullbreaker with the Ice Nova off of a Frost Nova. Just continue to ruin him as best as he can. Going to be a War Stomp off of that knockdown for the Night Fae. This man actually got massive lockdowns, dude. Fear onto Seavark. Probably going to have the Night Fae knocked down. Poly up next. Does reflect on Seavark. Breaking the Poly immediately. Seavark doesn't get any kind of healing. That's going to be the Trinket out of that Nova. I'm not really sure if you wanted to do it. Trinket down for Skullbreaker. I think you Trinket maybe a little bit early. Seavark did have a Battle Master Trinket used there, and that Trinket is going to be down for the count. Skullbreaker, if he can mount up quick enough, he might be able to catch up to the Seavark. He sees where he's at, went for Blazer for a second, not really sure why. Maybe just a miss to play a bit. Was he Novad? I think he might have been Novad. I think I might have gotten hit by a Pet Frost Nova as Seavark went down for some food. That might have been the play. That actually might have been the play then. That was the right play. Reflect or Seavark has himself full ice form available. Frostbolts should be doing quite a bit of damage. And Skullbreaker just reflect those back at him. Just trying not to make sure that he doesn't slow down at all. Big Rampage is going to be Ice Block. Does he shatter it immediately? He does go for the immediate shatter. Actually goes for the immediate shatter. Seavark can't go anywhere all the time. Gets the least amount of health. Does get himself the triple shield back up and running. Poly onto Skullbreaker. Did not have a Blaze Storm for that one. My God. This guy has just been just absolutely intense this whole time. Massive leap, catching up for Seavark, trying not to let him get any kind of healing. Big old charge. And Seavark trying to see if he might be able to bow out of there. Is going to have himself the Icy Veins used. Oh no, Icy Veins. Cold Snap in order to get Ice Block back up. Locked out on Arcane for a second. Does get himself Deathborn. Going to be Reflect for Skullbreaker. Is going to be frozen if he walks out of the ring. It's going to be Poly on top of it. Maybe now Seavark can do some damage because this man is going to get frozen. Either way, he likes a big leap out of Ring of Frost, immuning and actually just ignoring the freeze altogether. Super unfortunate. Seavark does have Ice Form back up. There's going to be actually a blink passive just not to get hit by the Frostbolt. Big comments coming down, but Seavark's health is looking kind of sketch. Ice Block back up, so he should be okay, maybe. As long as Skullbreaker doesn't have like a big wombo combo available. Could someone peep if Skullbreaker is running Slaughterhouse just to make sure? Because I imagine that'll be the standard on Until in the future. There's going to be Seavark at super low health. Does blink back into the Night Fae ability. The knockdown. Did get him quite low. Did press Ice Block at the last second. If only his health was a little bit lower than the Fae knockdown ability, the damage it does, the nature damage, might have actually been a one-shot, dude. Might have been a one-shot. Endless Duel, dude. Skullbreaker isn't going anywhere. He's just going to continue healing himself over and over and over. This man is not going down without a big old fight. And Seavark isn't going to give up either. Which neither of these two boys should do that. Neither of these boys should give up. But Skullbreaker, I think, is creating an interesting situation where double charge and using the knockdown with a Night Fae, as well as the Torrent ratio, does give him enough for lockdown. While also being able to constantly root enemies, constantly chase them with charges, which is quite substantial there. It's going to be a Trinket out of the Polymorph. Is he going to be able to stop the next one? Doesn't drop the second one. It's going to be a Ring of Frost to follow. Big execute onto Seavark. And Skullbreaker goes for a massive, massive roar at the end. Yandex's going to be up next. And finally, Team 2 is going to be seeing some new people out of there. Yandex switching it up with an Unholy Death Knight. Which Unholy and PTR is looking quite awesome right now. Going to be Reflect out for Skullbreaker immediately. Yandex, I think, tried to see if he can hit him with... I don't really know what he interrupted him. He did reflect something. I think might have been an interrupt where he reflected. MS up for Yandex, trying to get his full Army of the Dead. Skullbreaker trying to avoid the Army of the Dead as best as he can. Gets a slow into Yandex. Does get stunned by that second repet. That's going to be yet another grip into a stun. Does the Army of the Dead join? The Army of the Dead joins the fight. And so does Kevin Slime, spitting at Skullbreaker. He's just trying to avoid the Army of the Dead as best as he can. Letting the pets have a long way around, like this rampy area. Leap onto Yandex. Has himself wreck. And I wonder if he has the Raging Blows that do give him a charge with that wreck. Because that would be pretty good. Is he using like... It looks like he's using like a weird kind of overpower ability there as a Fury. Yandex super low in health. Could be in that execute range. I think it's going to be going down. And Skullbreaker does demolish him. 10 minutes into this duel. 10 minutes, 58 seconds left. Who's going to be up next, boys? Who's going to be the next? Spencer as a Arcane Mage. Up next versus Skullbreaker. Who was the fifth that left the team 1, by the way? I don't remember who it was. Trying to get himself a Deathborn up and running. Skullbreaker reflecting something, anything out of Spencer. Not really sure exactly what he reflected. Arcane missiles flying, does get interrupted. Spencer better be very, very careful with his health. Not a lot of health to work with. Does have a singular shield, and looks like Skullbreaker just kept rampaging through the defensives. Not an Icebook was seen that day. I don't know about Alta Time either. Dead Void is gonna be up next. Hey, is this Void form? Is this Void form? I remember you, my guy. How you doing? Gonna be an interrupt by Skullbreaker. As Dead Void trying to get the damage in. Gonna be big. Shadow Crash and Skullbreaker actually avoiding them as best as they can. They're just flying in all the directions. He wants to make sure he's nowhere near them. Taking that free damage. Does interrupt Dead Void on Shadow. Trying to get him yet another charge in. Gets a lot of rage out of those charges. And I think a lot of healing on top of it too, doesn't he? I would imagine. Dead Void though, not an amazing spot. Again, another Void Eruption coming out of him. And I think that was Megalomania. Using Surrender Tomatoes to get one of them. And using the normal Void form and to get another Shadow Crash. The Shadow Void? Shadow Volley? Does go down to Skullbreaker either way though. Trying out some of the new honor towns did not quite work out him like he wanted to. Chicago up next, looking to decimate Skullbreaker. Doesn't get to. Blessing of Protection stops the warrior from being able to do much. Trying to see if he can outmaneuver the Paladin. Does have more mobility than a Pally though. Massive Judgments flying back to back at Chicago. Not getting knocked down. That's going to be a seed pod for Skullbreaker. I don't think it's going to survive it. And Chicago does end up taking down this warrior. This bull rampaging through the streets of London, dude. Gonna be a Convoke available for Christina. Does get interrupted. I think he's playing the minute Convoke. So if he can survive until the end of the Convoke, Chicago will not have an answer for it. Gonna be a stun to Christina. Does check it out, but Chicago with no health at all. Does have the Guardian Legendary, the tanky one, proccing for him to get himself a little bit of defensive enough to stay alive and press bubble. So at least he survived that burst. I like his Death Knight Mog, by the way. That's like a very much a hazel, bluish, like silver, like appeal for it. And also Light Forge Unai. We don't see a lot of Light Forge so often. Chicago does try to stay toe to toe with Christina. Christina does have a wall. Chicago's actually out of all defenses, so unless he just continues to spam heal himself, he'll be in a bad spot. Cyclone is going to prevent him from movement, but also going to allow Christina to reset. If Chicago isn't careful with the consecration, yep, that's going to happen. Christina is going to get himself a reset, get himself a rake from an opener, get himself a bigger damage off of it. Chicago tried to get a big old proc to Christina. That is Thorns by the Feral. Chicago better be very, very careful with that Thorns. Bash by Christina, looking for another Convoke, does get interrupted. Bash does not last long at all. Chicago does get the Guardian Lego procking, but it wasn't enough. Was not enough. Dude, Skullbreaker just absolutely rampaged. Absolutely rampaged. That was actually nutty. Night Fae, I like his lockdown he has. With the Night Fae knockdown, War Stomp, and he's kind of banking for that Night Fae knockdown again. So it's a knockdown, stunned by the War Stomp, into a knockdown. That's like 4 seconds of CC. If you can lock someone down with another person in arena, because he can just do the CC lockdown by himself, just go Night Fae into a War Stomp immediately. You can't interrupt it, unless there's someone to stop the War Stomp, maybe. But that's a nice lockdown by himself. And none of it is really like a long stun, so if an enemy has a trinket, like are they going to trinket it? Probably. But imagine if the trinket like towards the end of that War Stomp and they get knocked down, and it's like... that would be really, really bad. You'd need an immunity basically to deal with it. That's pretty awesome though. Let's go again, boys. Yo, Void Form, is that you? Is that the boy? I miss you, my guy, if that's you. I miss you, buddy. The Void Volley, dude. He tried to go Megalomania to get himself turned into Madness into Void form, and then try to go into Void form again. That's so, like, the way that the Shadow Crash looks, it looks impressive. It looks intimidating. One more time, one more for Alex. Sounds good, my guy. Just need one more for Team Horde. We'll be good to go. Just like, you're bro, chill. Spencer, that's all good, my guy. Maybe a bit. Yeah, it's pretty hard when you're on the gear, though. You know what I mean? Warrior Ribs, dude. Warriors are looking really, really good. Is Death Grim? He just has two warriors. Oh, okay. So it is the same guy. So Grim Grip is Skullbreaker. That is the same guy, actually. By the looks of it, boys. The boss should have just let other people play Sinner. Yeah, that's rough, man. That's rough. I didn't see you run Ice Wall. I guess in a duel you wouldn't really want to run the Ice Wall. You probably just want to do damage, right? But that's rough, man. That warrior, I feel like he just made your job much harder with Reflect. Not even Stormbolt, just Reflect, Blaze Storm, Trinket, constant charges to root ya. It's just tough to deal with. First go up an alley. Awesome, boys. If you're in Alliance and want to join in, dude, Chicago, looking for the 5, boys. Looking for the 5, boys. Let's go, dude. Take a sip of my soda here while I'm chilling. Let me scroll up a bit in chat. The White Pharaoh Spout and Shamans, Boomies, and Hybrids are doing more on the table than pure damage and healing and survival RMM. The point is that Threats, Pharaohs, Boomies, Elemental Shamans, and that's are described as damage dealers, and they should do damage, but their self-heals shouldn't be better than self-heals of other DPS classes. I think a lot of these classes are doing well maybe in the first season of Shadowlands, and as we get better gear in future seasons, I think scaling will end up kind of taking course, unless I'm not I don't know. Let's take a look at it. Like Enhanced Shamans, we complained about their healing, but that's not like the tankiest class ever. Like a warrior's a tank in defensive stands in arena. Like Alex ready? Awesome. As soon as Chicago's ready, we'll be good. Reds, pretty squish outside of their defensives. They have good healing. I feel like with Reds, maybe I could see it there. Like maybe if there was a little bit harder for them to generate the resources, and the choice between Word of Glory and Templa's Verdict was a lot harder, but they just generate so much holy power, it's not that big a deal. Pharaohs also die in stuns. Like you can lock down a Pharaoh without a trinket. Boomies, they're generally pretty high in dam, and the only, besides Barks, and like Barrel Form and self heals. I don't know, I feel like that's a class with not a lot of defenses, like on CD. So having that one would be quite a bit of self-heals. Just for survivability, I think it's fine. Elemental Shamans, their self-survivability can be better if they run like a Resto Legendary. But again, they're running a Resto Legendary. So you would imagine, yeah, of course their self-survivability should be pretty good. But then again, should we have classes that can run Hybrid Legendaries? Should that be a thing then? You know what I mean? It's not a real issue in the class. It's more like an issue with LEGO, rather, in my opinion. What else is there? Enhance. We just talked about Enhance. Yeah, so like there's still some things Blizzard could do, like maybe limit certain legendaries so that they're self-healing. Like having a druid with a tank legendary and being able to just out-heal the enemy in a 2v2 with another DPS while they get trained. Maybe that's like, I don't know how I feel about it. Fair point. But I think that's not a problem with the class, rather with the things that the class brings, like the certain legendaries maybe. And that's really in like the one-in-one situation, mano a mano. Is Boom lead or Chicago lead? That's another question, I guess. A Shadow Priest before using Void Eruption stay on a wall and all the Shadow Crash will focus in one place. Will it? Wait, that's actually kind of nuts. So if you stay near a wall, they'll just focus towards... I guess they won't go behind you, right? Give me a lead. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Let's go, let's go. There's enough space in arena. It might be, yeah. You might be right. I think it's really, really interesting on a talent though. It could be really good for just random damage. Like if it just crashes on a bunch of players, that's just an eruption. I wonder if it'll be good on RPGs. You know, just you go into the middle of the group fighting at the flag. Clickbait, my man. How you doing, my dude? Yo, we got a Demon Hunter with some new honor talents. Can someone send me a screenshot of what the honor talents he's running? Deja, by the way, welcome. Are you trying new honor talents? I'm seeing the Fell Lord. Probably. How you doing, my guy? How you doing, my man? Alrighty. Did I save this one? I hope I didn't. Let's make sure we did, though. I'm getting kind of hungry, dude. I'm getting kind of hungry, boys. I think after this, I'm gonna have myself a good meal. A good big eats, you know what I mean? Alrighty, switch. We got ourselves Team 1 together with Blur, Gorge, X as an Unholy DK. We got ourselves Broton as a Boomy, with Christina on that Feral, with KYB as a Shadow Priest, and Var as a Survival Hunter. Versus, we got ourselves Big Boss Chick as a thick Chicago, as a Panda enhancer with a big old gorilla hands, dude. Who doesn't love a woman with big gorilla hands, you know what I mean? We got ourselves Clickbait, we got ourselves Daedra, we got ourselves Blizz Buff as a Kultira and Arcade. Oh, boys. As well as Yandex. There's gonna be a Big Boss Chicago versus Broton. Has himself full incarnation rolling. Was that a big convoke that I missed? Hope not. Broton tried to get himself some big Davies out in the open. Big Boss Chick actually trying to see if he can get himself a big Zaps. Is he? I was gonna say, is he elemental? Because he came out Flame Shock trying to get himself Stormkeeper. Nope, enhance. His full blown enhance. Big Frosty Wolves are up and running. That's gonna be Cycle trying to get set up for Broton. Try to keep the range on Chicago. It's gonna go for the big chain lightning zaps. It's gonna be a lockdown with an incap. Frost Shock, Night Vision Decision while he's standing on the stun. Oh my god, that's a lot of enhancement chamois damage. And Big Boss Chick does himself a big healer than need to. Ursul's Vortex is going to keep him at bay. Does walk out of the Ursul's Vortex completely. Earth Elemental is up. Broton trying to avoid the Big Boss as much as possible. Big Chain Lightning out of Big Boss. I don't really know. The Chicago wanted to go for Chain Lightning there. Hibernate onto the Ghost, so does dip out of it for a second to make sure you get some damage rolling. Still continuing to Chain Lightning. I don't know if he actually wants to Chain Lightning or not. Gonna be a convoke out of Broton, but Chicago already had him on the ropes, dude. That's a Night Fae enhance. I like it, dude. That full enhance setup was actually very well set up. Var is up next. Got himself full Necrolord setup versus Boss Chick. Is gonna rotate the Chimeric Poison with a Silence into a healing reduction, damage reduction poison. So it starts off as a slow poison, into a silence poison, into a healing reduction, damage reduction, like a poison of weakness. Actually, they're probably like Spider Sting, Serpent Sting, Wound Poison or something, or Paralytic. I don't really know what they're called. They have some names for them, but it's part of the Chimeric Poison, which is a minute CD. So he's playing that as kind of like a CC utility, defensive, pressure, poison. It's an interesting bit. It can really allow you to turn it around on the enemy. Ghosts are up for Chicago. Versus Var is going to have himself the Slime Shield proccing to try to help him deal with the damage of Boss. With the Fleshcraft after, does go for Feign Death for a second. The Wolves are still nipping at him, at least one of them is. But he is able to get himself a bit of a Fleshcraft, throwing down the Death Chakram. Does it help with the Explosion Legendary? No, he doesn't play the Explosive Lego. I would have been surprised, I guess, if he does. Big damage on a Big Boss Chick. Does get the silence on a Big Boss. Straight gets out of it. That's probably going to be the next poison starting up as a slow healing reduction poison into a Panda. Rachel does get himself a bit of a heal versus Var. Try to go for a bit of a stun. Does he have the Night Fae setup? He doesn't go for the Night Fae setup. The Night Fae ability, I think, is about a 2-minute CD or so. I don't know if he has the setup here in this duel to go. Got himself Ghost was up and running. There's going to be a lot of Maelstrom. Try to go for what looks like Chain Lightnings onto Var, which he does actually get Chain Lightnings off the pet. It looks like the pet actually does go down. Var is going to go for Feign Death, trying to go for a Vive pet. It's going to get hit around the corner for a second by the Fate Transfusion. Did it get the full damage of that Fate Transfusion? It looked like it happened really quickly. Chicago does get himself a bit of a heal, but that Fate continued to get Lightning Bolts into Var, trying to get as much Maelstrom as he can. It's going to be a bit of a Hunter's Manic Bandage to try to heal up. Var going for the Battlemaster Trinket, trying to get some offensive pressure rolling. Boss does go into a wall with Ghost Wolves, and those Ghost Wolves actually turn their attention onto the pet. Sounds in Chicago with the Weakness Poison after. It looks like he's continuing to just hit the pet for the Hunter. Looks like he's going to just continue to focus him down. Maybe hoping that Var starts focusing on his pet. Maybe use an acceleration to heal his pet at some point. But he's going to have to maintain that men pet as best as possible. Chicago still under quite a bit of pressure from the Hunter. Actually, quite a lot of pressure. Trying to go for a stun lockdown onto Var. Super low in health. The Death Chakram does take him out. Oh, my goodness. What ledger is Var running? I'm actually wondering. What ledger is this man rolling? Blizz Buff is going to be up next as an arcade mage. Kultira, the big boy. He got himself a sack of goodies and a lightsaber. I really like this mog though. A lot of green, a lot of yellow, lots of vibrant colors. Is that Seawork on an alt? Let's try it out, messing with Arcane. It is getting some missiles up and running. Not playing the triple shield legendary as you can see. Although you see a fire shield as well as a frosty shield. So most likely it is playing the Harmony legendary, where arcane missiles do boost the damage of your barrage. So if you're able to set him up, playing that Venthier, so he's going to be pretty aggressive. Polymorph around the corner. Var does go for Feign Death, continue to sling nades over Blizz Buff. Touch of the Magi is getting set up. Is going to have the Chimeric Poison coursing through him. Touch of the Magi is at least getting set up either way. Used to get himself a nice setup. Arcana Sphere as Touch of the Magi is up with Var. Trinket coming up, avoids the Arcana Sphere, more missiles flying, maybe with a big barrage at the end. Massive damage onto the Hunter. Feign Death, actually death right after. Oh my god, that was huge damage out of the Arcane Mage. He missed the massive orb. However, the rest of the damage went through. That was nuts. KYB actually able to play the game without Giga dampening? What? KYB might actually be able to get himself a bit of a game. I'm hoping we see some damage out of him, some auto talents, maybe a cleaner setup. We'll actually see the Megalomania. Because we don't really, it doesn't really look like, does Serenity Madness even have an animation? I don't think Serenity Madness actually has an animation, but we'll know if KYB is using the new auto talent for Megalomania, which gives Serenity Madness and modifies it, where it doesn't actually kill you. It brings you to 35% health. If it's like at under 35% health, it'll be above. Bigger canister getting set up. Does have a greater fade for it. Faded it out of the last second. Not a bad setup. As Blizz Buff try to go for a decent setup. The images are up and KYB is going to get mounted up. Try to see if he can catch up to the mage. The images are all over him. Could actually dot him up if he wants to. But looks like he's going to save a lot of damage for Blizz Buff instead. Stuns him. Maybe he can go for a big setup. Shattered Void Nova coming out. It's just crashing everywhere. Buff does walk into it. Stealing the PI from KYB. Used to dispel the PI off of Blizz Buff immediately. Otherwise, he's going to get himself a big setup. Try to remove it. Big Shadow Mance is using Megalomania. So he's able to move while casting. So he's able to get himself some heals while casting spells. Big Haymaker, Touch of Magic gets set up on Blizz Buff with big missiles. Barrage right after. Does interrupt KYB. Silencer fall right after. Does he even get opportunity to maybe even get himself a Disperse? Try to see if he can survive. Does recover a little bit of health. I think Megalomania might have actually put his health back up. Because Megalomania, at the end of your Serenity Madness, you come out with 35% health. So if you're under, I think it gives you a heal. If you're over, it puts you to 35, which does reduce your heal. So that's an interesting one. Trigger for KYB does get a silence on a Blizz Buff. Probably rotating more CC. Stun right after. Does he have the normal blink? Void Eruption try to come out. Actually delayed the Void Eruption by a hair. You probably could have just let that happen. There's going to be Shadow Crash around the corner. But not the big Shadow Crash that he needs it. He needs to get another stun to Blizz Buff and maybe go for a big Shadow Crash just standing on top of him or something. Potentially. If he's able to. Not going to be seeing that stun for a bit. It's like a 45-second cooldown, I believe. By the way, I got my Priest up and running to max level. I just need to get another Demon Hunter up to max level, and then we'll have one of every character that's playable. And I'll probably be doing some free time Demon Hunter. Void Eruption up next for KYB. Does he have the Eruption? It looks like he did have Eruptions at the wall. Actually, Blizz Buff walked on top of him, and he got hit by a couple of them. He actually stood next to it, and it crashed on top of him. That's actually so interesting. If you mind control somebody, and then you stun them, you go for Shadow Crash when they're next to the wall. Could that be a thing? Could that be a potential play? Trying to see if he can get a heal. Does get interrupted by Blizz Buff. Is still able to keep moving. At some point, Megalomania should be available, and you should be able to get that big coursing damage of the Serenity Madness, extra resources, as well as movement while casting. Gonna be PI. Blizz Buff, does he go to steal it? Looks like he isn't going to steal it just yet. KYB is eventually going to silence him with those Mirrors of Torment. Looks like all three mirrors are still on him. Trying to dispel it. Does get to remove him. Blizz Buff did steal the PI. I thought he didn't. Trying to get himself under Canisphere onto KYB is going to be able to get hit by it, dude. Nothing he can do about it. That thing hits the walls. Missiles flying. Shadow Crusher on the corner. KYB does get clipped by that missile. Does get interrupted on Shadow. Maybe big barrage right after. Does he get to use it? Oh, he's inside the sight. Maybe a barrage? I don't think he was able to do so. KYB is still okay. Greater faded that touch of the Magi. Both the Mage and the Shadow Priest are in an interesting situation. Both of them are kind of lowish on health. KYB tried to see if he could port. He's trying to be a bit aggressive here. Has a shield with a Draven Soulbind. And Blizz Buff does get himself an invis into a poly with a bit of food. That's going to be a stun by KYB. trying to get dots up and running. Very interesting. I really do want to try to see if Shadow Crash or Shadow Volley, like if you were next to the wall, does it just all spawn next to the wall? Because it looked like it wasn't going everywhere. I know he's running the auto talent, but it didn't look like it was going anywhere. It looked like it was all at the wall. So if you were to like silence or stun them when they're next to the wall and you use that as instant cast, maybe they could take a lot of damage. Let's above getting big damage onto KYB. Massive blast. Arcade missile around the corner. KYB trying to get himself a bit of a heal. Trying to get interrupted. Does he get to him? Blizzbuff is on his tail. Trying not to let him get any single cast off. He does have a trick in case CC comes around the corner. Does he get to it? Stun? Into an interrupt. I think it's locked down for KYB. I think it's over. Unless someone gets a heal. Oh, that is so rough. That was actually a rough one, man. Sorry, boys. I had to clear my throat a bit. Blood Gorge is going to be, by the looks of it, up next. That was a tough one between the Shadow Priest and the Mage at the end, though, dude. But Blizzbuff got some damage behind him, man. That Arcanosphere and the arcane damage. Blood Gorge is, interrupting the Arcanosphere. Interesting. Bricked up his pet just to make sure that is happening. That's crazy. But it's going to be Blizzbuff. Try to see if he gets some damage onto Blood Gorge. Does get gripped and Strinky coming out. And Buff trying to get himself a setup onto Blood Gorge. Does go for a poly. The Army of the Dead just joined the fight. Does he get to invis it off? He does get to invis it off. I think the pets still know he's there. Yep, they looked at him. They looked at him. They saw him. Big old Nova around the corner. Pets are back in the gameplay. And Buff can actually use the ghoul to build up the barrage damage. So he will have power behind his burst. Could always ice block. Still holding on to that, only at 38% dampening, so he is going to start feeling some pressure from lack of healing, but he still can do something about it, if anything. Missiles flying, trying to get interrupted on Arcane, which is perfect for him. Blood Gorge does go for a big old grippy hand. Sorry, swapping the wrong person. Ice Block for Buff. That's going to be a flesh grab. Buff does get a heal while an Ice Block, so he's going to be able to get himself a bit of a heal catch up. We're in a good spot for now, boys. A good spot for now. Trying to Dora Shadows out of there, just trying to get himself a bit of a reset. Arcanosphere getting loaded up. Blood Gorge, I don't think he can avoid it. Unless, the pet got hit, but Blood Gorge did not. That's going to be Kevin Slime for Buff to set up a bit of a missiles off of. 43% dampening, 12 minutes into this duel, boys. Invis for Blizz Buff, and is going to get a poly onto Blood Gorge. Who has control of his pet? Yes, he does. Interrupt into a stun. Has control of his pet while polymorph. I was gonna say, like, pretty sure he does, but I'm not sure. Does he? Potentially. Big Haymaker onto Blood Gorge. Does get a stun off it. IBF and that Haymaker. Silence under Buff. He's in a bad spot unless he gets a heal for Temporal right now. It's over. Does get a heal for Temporal all the time, but it wasn't enough. Blood Gorge does end up taking him out. Playing the anti-caster build. Daedra is up next. Playing that Shadow build. As the Demonology, he's still sticking to his guns as the Shadow playstyle. Does get the pet that he could summon. Full Fell Lord up and running. Tyrant rolling in. Does he get the Obelisk? He does drop down the Fell Obelisk, and Blood Gorge, so it was nothing to do with it. It wants nothing to do with any of these pets. Those pets are going to be cheering at him from behind the pillar. It's going to be Wild Fiends coming down from behind the pillar too. Actually, lots of damage. Blood Gorge dropping down the antimatic zone. You kind of want to stand as a Warlock next to your Fell Lord. You want him to do all the damage in the world. That Obelisk was kind of a bit of damn too. Daedra making sure to avoid Elf out of there. Blood Gorge does survive the first onslaught of demons, but they are in a very short CD. Stun onto Daedra by Blood Gorge. Is looking to get himself more damage rolling versus Daedra into a grip, trying not to let him get any cast off at all. What Covenant is Daedra actually? And I'm starting to wonder. Is he Necrolord? Big old slappy hand slabs the Warlock around. Down he goes. Yandex getting gripped in, dude. Unholy versus Unholy. Yandex coming in fully fresh with full cooldowns, while Blood Gorge is actually the one under pressure. No defenses left here. Maybe some offensive power, but not too much. Blood Gorge is tasting the taste of his own medicine right now. Blood Gorge does have a little bit better control with his pets. He isn't a holy main, like the charge with his pet, as well as the stun. He's a bit better at controlling it. Yandex, I don't think he really uses his pet abilities too often. Flash cut up for Blood Gorge, might be able to maybe do something. Yandex does have a bit of a lag, so he tried to go for that interrupt, but he does have some weird delay. I think this is a Russian servers on PTR. Does get Chain of Ice into Blood Gorge. Unless Blood Gorge has a way to counteract this or catch up in health, he's going to be behind. Yandex sacrificing his pet in order to give himself a bit of a heal. Blood Gorge tried to slow Yandex down, letting the pets do a lot of the damage. using death glows offensively versus Yandex. Does get himself hit with a silence. Yandex trying to make some pressure happen. Does Bloodgorge have any ways to heal? Stunned by Yandex, has a Lichborn Fleshcraft. Actually, just Fleshcraft it in his face. Probably could have just ended the duel in that stun, but he decided not to. If he's trying to play up for the next duel, playing the extra defensive. Bloodgorge does get to grip in the ghoul. Yandex exploding that ghoul and does go for the crawl. With the, what is it, the clawing shadows from a distance. Christina's up next, dude. On the new mount, trying to do a nice friendly wave to Yandex, just couldn't get it off, dude. Just couldn't give him a nice wave. Thorns is up, Yandex does have AMS for it. I don't think he's coming out of that bite. And Click Butt is up next, forced into this duel with that mean Convoke. He has to play now, he has to make a choice. I wonder what Onitons this man is running. Tricking it out of the root into a Metamorphosis. Try to see if he can catch up to Christina. But Christina does catch a bit of a reset. I don't know if Clickbutt can do much. It might be able to get a one-shotter onto Christina. Because dampen is so high, I don't think this man can really get that much healing at this point. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Stun to Christina, I-beam into a maim. Does not have a trinket this time. I think it's over. I think it was over before it even began. Yep. Super unfortunate. I wonder what kind of Onitons he was trying to bring into this duel. But yo, dude, plus buff the Arcade Mage Master, dude. The big burst out of Arcade. Huge on PTR, man. Huge. That Ventier isn't bad either, is it? I don't think for mages you really need a specific covenant to do better damage-wise with PvP. Like, it's really like, what would you rather play? What playstyle would you bring? And maybe one of them will be better for arenas. But in duels, like, Necrolord doesn't seem to win you games. It's nice if you can line up everything for an all-in. Maybe Kyrian. Maybe it could be Kyrian. Maybe Knifey just to get cooldowns back more often. Who knows? But everybody's trying to give it a try. And I like that you guys are experimenting with different things. Alrighty. I do like the damage for Arcane, dude. It looks so good. It looks so good. Alrighty. Let's do it again. Let's go again. I want to see the Shadow Priest play again. I want to give that Demon Hunter a chance. I want to give Daedra another chance too. So I can one-shot a 78k HP Demon Hunter tank with Rogue Burst and Feral lives it. But people say Feral isn't broken, but Pally is what gets one-shot by everything outside of wings. 70k Demon Hunter, like right now on live or on PTR? Because I think it's been a while since Rogue's been able to one-shot literally in a global to a Demon Hunter. It's next season, but you can hit 50k barrages and stuff. It'll be extremely hard to pull out because it's Arcane skill. Yeah, it'll be rough. It's just as long as you interrupt an Arcane, that's it. Your burst is kind of out of the window, isn't it? Ventier is definitely better. Felt so much easier to win with those. Fair enough. Yeah, because you get to use the utility of the Ventier. You get the teleport for mobility. You're just focusing your damage rather than like loading it up super hard. And also you get more procs for missiles every time you do get the mirrors on the target. Mirrors. Every time I get the mirrors on the target. I like to say Boomkin after all these changes, dude. We actually have some boomies. Brochon hasn't really get to play too much. But if he gets a chance, man, you know, he'll get to play. Wait, Brochon, you said good night? You're in the game though. I thought you were gonna leave. Привет, Dalaranчик. Удачного стрима. Здорово, Медехи. Здорово, дела, мой друг. Hey, Medehi, how you doing, my man? Welcome, welcome. How you doing, my dude? How you doing, my dude? Onion on you. Here we go. Switch. Got ourselves Team 2 together with Big Boss Chick with Clickbot. We got ourselves Daedra as a Warlock plus buff, as well as Yandex going up first versus KYB. Oh no, why I put a KYB versus him? Big Shadow Crash down for the Shadow Priest. Stun onto Yandex. This Shadow Crash is one, I think, a little bit over Yandex's head though. Very interesting. I wonder if he's using Serenity Tomatoes right now. We'll see if he starts hard casting spells while moving. Then we'll know he's using it. That was a pretty big PI though. Void Eruption. Try to get a second Void Eruption up and running. Yandex does have AMS ready for it. That's going to be KYB. Try to get himself a heal. Looks like he did get some kind of healing. As Yandex got himself the Spell Warden as well as normal AMS rolling. That's a lot of defenses. Also, Kevin Slime providing a little bit extra shielding as well. Going to be a Lichborn for Yandex. Does get interrupted on KYB and takes him out. What does he kill him with this now? Wait, did his like Battle Master Trigger fall off or something? I don't understand. Wait, what? I don't understand. You speak Russian? A little bit. Yeah, I was born in Russia. I speak a little bit of Russian. I understand the Russian. Like, this is why we can have some dudes that are Russians in the chat with duels, and I can kind of sort of give them nicknames. I speak it a little. I do forget it a bit. Christina up next versus Yandex, playing the Convoke Feral. Bash at Yandex is going to be Convoke. Forcing out an IBF out of Yandex, actually. Maybe a good idea either way, just because it's a lot of damage from Christina either direction. But Yandex able to get himself plenty of damage versus Christina. And is able to heal up quite a bit. Needs to go for an all-in, though. He needs to go for the full Army of the Dead A-Bomb. He does see the Army of the Dead. A-Bomb is going to be a little bit distinct. We'll see if he ends up waiting until he uses both. Looks like he's using Army of the Dead now, under a bit of pressure himself right here. Needs some kind of healing. Needs something. Christina actually getting rampaged by the Army of the Undead. If you can just keep the Army of the Dead on top of Christina, he'll be in a good spot. He's trying to go for a bit of regrowth. Does get a root onto Yandex. He went for the corpse explosion to do a little bit extra damage to Christina. That corpse explosion never going to do big damage. But the healing for Yandex is actually not a terrible idea. Oh my god, swapping the wrong person. I'm so sorry, boys. Spell Warden proccing from those thorns, which is huge for Yandex. Does at least give him some sort of a way to deal with the match damage coming out. A-Bomb joining the fight, but a big ol' bite snaps the boy in half. Collect Butt is up next. I do wonder if this man is playing new honor talents for Demon Hunters. Stun onto Christina. Ivan to follow with a big hunt, trying to go for big damage. Oh my god, actually doing so much wall for Christina, trying to see if we can outlast the damage versus the DH. I'm so sorry, I'm swapping the wrong person. I don't know which one is Christina anymore. I'm just gonna focus on this guy. Interrupting the Convoke. Does force a trick out of a quick main by Christina. And ClickBot trying to see if he might be able to soul shape over to Christina. He was able to. Can someone send me a screenshot of ClickBot's Click's honor talents? I want to see if he's running new ones. Going to be a stun onto Christina with an I-beam right after. Blade Dance to follow, trying to drop a darkness down. I also wonder if he's running any of the new honor talents or legendaries at all. Because I know there's a Night Fae thing you could do with the double charges. The Night Fae legendary double charge thing. Could be pretty cool. ClickBot, they're taking lots of damage. Back-to-back bites out of Christina, though. Under a lot of pressure with the bleeds on top of it all. So it is a little bit rough. Does go for an Imprison onto Christina. I think he might be running the new Imprison honor talents, though. Christina hit with a stun. Big ol' I-beam, skull bash onto the I-beam though. ClickBot does get the metamorphosis for a second, but does bleed out. Very unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate. I was thinking maybe he's running the new auto talents because they did add the new auto talent where I-beam debuffs the enemy, making him take more damage. Then you have your AoE stun is going to last longer if it's just on a single target. Your Fell Eruption gives you resources too if it charges just to one enemy. So I was wondering if that's what he was trying to out that match. Going to be immediate trinket for Boss Chick with a Panda Rachel and a stun. As he sees Convoke coming out for Christina, is going to go for Big Fetch Fusion. Does get Skull Bashed on it, and that's going to be Berserk out for the Feral. Big Boss goes in for a massive heal for the Night Fae. Is going to have to start using his mana though with a Maelstrom Collector from the Wolves in order to maintain himself, as Christina is just continuing to throw pressure. Does throw Glaive Talon increase the damage of your spells since chaos spells are all spells? I imagine it does. Yeah, I imagine it does. It might be better for a group gameplay, but I imagine it does. Didn't see the ones before you left. Oh, unforge. That's okay though. I wonder if Demon Hunter is gonna get any more honor talents, because I think some of the stuff I just wanted to see like a Demon Hunter main join these PTR duels, because it's really up to like who joins in, who downloads PTR. But I'd like to see Demon Hunter main try some of the new stuff. And like let us know and show us like, hey, this is good or what's not good. Also new legendaries too. I imagine the Haunt charge into Immolation Aura charge would be really strong. Big maim by Christina onto Boss Chick, trying to Convoke him down. Boss does get himself a little bit of healing. Bites are still just flying out of Christina though. Back-to-back bites. That 1 minute Convoke just puts so much pressure. It forces a trickle out of the enemy, and then every other minute you can just keep throwing down a full Convoke on them. Or not a full Convoke, but like half a Convoke, but either way, you get what I mean. Stormkeeper is off of Boss, can do quite a bit of damage to Christina. Christina, though, not taking any damage at all, by the looks of it. Earth Spike does come down, though. Boss is playing Earth Spike. Interesting. So Chicago is playing Earthen Spike. Does he have the Skull Bash for Faceless Fusion? Is going to still give a little bit of damage, a little bit of healing for Big Boss Chick. He used to purge the thorns off of Christina if he wants to do any kind of damage. This Earth Spike is pretty consistent though. Got the Wolves up and running. That should give a lot of Maelstrom. Is able to catch up a little bit. And I wonder if Chicago is playing the cooldown reduction on your Ferals, the Ghost Will Bones legendary. Because that will be pretty good still with the Earth Spike setup. Maybe he's trying something new altogether. Has himself a lightning bolt or chain lightning. Going to be another convoke by Christina, forced to trick it out of Chicago. So all Christina needs to do is get himself a big setup for the next go. Go maybe for a big convoke afterwards. Big bites coming out back to back off of that bash wall available for the shaman, but the feral is still just savagely ripping into him. Unable to shake the feral off, Boschik has resorted to just running circles as a ghost wolf from the wall, just waiting out until they get enough mana in order to be able to do something. Does play the lightning shield, so it does give him a lot of maelstrom back, honestly. It does give him quite a bit of maelstrom. Able to get the earth spikes in, as well as some chain lightnings by the looks of it. Looks like he's chain lightning him. Maybe lightning bolt him normally might be the better choice. He is able to get himself heals big time here and there. Finally able to get himself some pressure off of the feral. As the feral decided, you know what, I got ghost wolves, I'm gonna run these ghost wolves away, not give you any healing, not give you any damage, maybe come back with a reset. But those wolves just to the last second just didn't let you go anywhere at all. Didn't let you catch a reset whatsoever. Next MAME setup could be huge by Christina. Does get hit with a stun trick inside of it. Looking to convoke down Chicago and does get to do so. Very, very rough out there, man. It's rough out there as to duel against convoke and ferals, dude. Because that minute convoke, like if you don't trigger the first one, you could just die. You just be too many bites and that's it. You're done. Big Touch of Magic getting set up for Blizz a buff with arcane missiles, playing the Harmony Legendary. So as they set up more missiles, they will have the barrage do more damage. So that barrage can hit for quite a lot. Missiles themselves do quite a bit of damage too, or quite a fair amount of damage, I'd say. Also does have the knockback with the orb, so you can do that from time to time. That's going to be a silence on the Christina, silence and rooted. Haymaker to Christina to stun him for a second. Big missiles coming out. Trying to get himself some big damage to Blizz buff. Trying to go, I think, for Arcane Blast. Looks like he is blasting at him. Just needs to go for a big barrage with a full Bombo combo. And if that thing crits, it'll be huge. Invis available for the mage to get himself a 60% damage reduction while Invis is up. MAME onto the Arcane. Does get an interrupt onto Christina. And just trying to avoid him as best as he can. Continue with those barrages either way as much as possible. Regrowth up for Christina. Please buff throwing down the Arcane Orb. As long as he can keep Christina from catching restealth, he'll be in an okay spot. Does go for images, as well as the other invis, the mass invis, which doesn't give him the DR element. Shield is up. He is having to trade out a lot of defenses for offenses here. Iceball comes out as he's expecting big damage out of Christina. Does not have a trinket for this next go. So Iceball might not be the worst idea ever. The bleeds were set in. Fairy Frenzy was stacking up. It was pretty rough. He's going to be able to blink or teleport around Christina. Doesn't get him out of cell though, and there goes the Feral back with the bleeds. Does the buff, does he run Shimmer or normal blink? I think it's a Shimmer playstyle for him right now. Trying to get a Nova onto Christina. Mirrors of Torment. Or maybe he's a normal blink actually. Left. Literally actually just left. Oh no. Actually just bailed. No, dude. This Feral with Convoke. This is how it's going to be in the next patch, dude. No, dude. Daedra is up next. Is going to be a stun on Daedra's main pet with a bash on the Daedra. Convoke coming out. The pet actually ate a solo Wrath or two. Or a Wrath, rather. They're not so longer solo Wraths anymore. Daedra does go for a second stun onto Christina. That's going to be a trinket off that with a Fel Lord available. Shadow Fury from a distance is going to be able to bow out of there, just getting away from all those pets. Big bleeds on Daedra is going to flash craft through them. That's Christina going for a full reset just now. I didn't expect 1 minute convoke to be a big deal. Yeah, it is rough, dude. Because with a legendary, it is going to try to use your powerful abilities more often. So like your stuns, or no, your bites, it's going to bite more often. So it does take away a lot of the, like if you were to have like, what would you rather have? How much damage? So I think the 2 minute convoke, the normal convoke does a lot of damage in a single button, but the 1 minute convoke does more damage than the 2 minutes over those 2 minutes. So getting 1 minutes is going to do more damage overall than the full 2 minute convoke. You know what I mean? Majors love to chat. It's super unfortunate, man. Super unfortunate, but honestly, I can't blame him. It is a rough spot to play against. Double knockup by Daedra, but the dots are set in. Are the dots going to be enough? Does he get the drains off? Does he do it? Looks like his pet actually just got killed by Christina. He has actually so much damage, he literally took the time to kill the pet, then finish off the Warlock. Actually just tearing through that team. That was actually nuts. Want to give the block a chance before damp ramps up. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. That was a rough one though, dude. That was rough. You can see his Maelstrom stacks to instant generate Stormkeeper, which gives 2 instant chain lightnings for enhance and makes him do more damage. Yeah, so chain lightning inside of Stormkeeper, I understand, but it looked like it was chain lightning outside of Stormkeeper too. Let's actually do something chain lightning because he can use the Maelstrom stacks to instant cast Stormkeeper to instant chain lightnings for enhance. Maybe he had instant cast Stormkeeper more often than I expected, but it looked like he was spending some of his Maelstrom chain lightning, which I'm probably wrong on that one. Are you gonna see these every minute? I got that, but getting to these, yeah, every minute, dude, it's huge. Yeah, every minute. That's what the potential is of the Convoke and Pharaoh. Alex is ready? Alright, boys, let's get another one going, yeah? I'm down to go one more, boys. It's 7, normally I end the stream here, but I'm down to go one more, dude. I'm having fun with these. I'm having fun testing out the new stuff. That Pharaoh and Convoke is going to be huge, I feel like. Arcane doesn't play Ring, so I can never get a setup. I think Pharaoh is the hardest for Arcane. Yeah, it might be one of the just hardest setups because you can't know him because they're just going to power shift and just completely just going to keep shredding you over and over and over. That's rough, man. That's rough. But yeah, someone at DK. I believe the Throw Glaive does increase all damage that the Demon Hunters do by like 10% because it is chaos damage, which is like all schools of spell all at once. So I imagine it does work there. I don't want Convoke for his damage. I want the Mastery buff for huge bites. Oh, true. That's also another thing to consider. Yeah. It does press Convoke for the damage, but also that Mastery gives you because what it does is. So the longer your CD for the Nightfire ability when you run Naya Soulbind, the longer your CD, the more Mastery it gives you when it presses the ability. So having a 2-minute CD for Convoke is a pretty long CD. I think one of the longest for all the Nightfire abilities. So it gives you the most amount of Mastery because of 2 minutes. When you run the Legendary to make it a 1-minute Convoke, it still gives you the Mastery as if it was a 2-minute Convoke. So you get to see that Mastery number more often, every minute. So that's going to be big bites, big bleeds. That's just rotten damage. And that Mastery buff lasts for like, what, 30 seconds? 30 seconds, dude. That's bites and bleeds. It's actually insane when you think about it. It's actually kind of insane. But yo, Chicago, if you have a group, if you want to go again, let me know. Alex, if you have a group, if you want to go again, let me know. If you guys are Dunsky, you're Dunsky. That's perfectly fine with me. But I'm down to go again. I am hungry. 5? Perfect. Let's go again. Yeah, I wonder if Blizzard will end up adjusting it because I feel like it'll just be kind of nuts. Is it that bad for Boomies now? Because Boomies are pretty big Mastery fiends. They love Mastery. It just makes all their abilities do more damage. I imagine a 1-minute Convoke for Boomies still would be really good, wouldn't it? Am I wrong on that? Maybe I am, because the reason they probably stack lots of Mastery is because they can get plenty of crit. And Convoke during your Eclipses is just, I mean, everything crits. Like a lot of crit. So maybe that's why they stack Mastery, because they don't need to worry about crit. So maybe with that Mastery Boats nerf, it will change. We'll see. Meh? We'll see, right? I'll have to wait and see. Ooh, Kib trying out Siphene. I like it. I like it. Vargan, another enhancement for days. I love it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's actually skip the song. Yeah, I like this one, dude. The wolf one. Yeah. Switch. We got ourselves Team 1 with Broton. On that team, we got ourselves Graham. We got ourselves Christina as a Feral Kib as a Shadow Priest going first, by the looks of it. And Vargan chilling in the back, ready to go. Wee! Hey, guy, how's it going? On Team 1, Team 2, we got ourselves Big Boss Chick, Clickbutt. We got ourselves Deja as a Demon Warlock, Shadow build, Blizz Buff as an Arcane Mage, and Yandex's gonna be first up. Kib and Yandex again, dude. Throwing the boy against the wall like that with that grip, man. Come on, dude. Big old grip onto Kib as the Army of the Dead is surrounding him. Does not have Disperse anymore. He's got a trick and a greater fade out of that. Just trying to be as careful as he can versus the Army of the Dead. That's going to be the Army joining that Abomination. Actually still in a tough spot. Trying to Shadow Ment with his damage. Does get him some PI as well as Vampiric Embrace. It's going to be AMS for a short moment for Yandex. Going to be big Shadow Crashes all over the place. Kib, I think, does get healing for it. Oh, he actually gets so much heals for it. Shadow Crashes do heal him with that with the Vampiric Embrace. Siphon has quite a bit of health now, so it's going to take a little bit longer to kill it, but it was doing a bit of damage and healing suppression for Yandex. Kib is going to get himself a little bit of VTs up and running. Does he still have full Void Eruption? Miss intro by Yandex. That's going to be a Mind Flay for free. Yandex just doesn't want to deal with it. I think Yandex's pet does not get the negatives of the Mind Games, by the way. So I think if Yandex gets hit with Mind Games, his pet doesn't heal Kib when he attacks Kib. So I wonder if that's how that plays out. It's going to be an interact for Yandex Kib under a little bit of pressure. I'm sorry, the wrong person. Flash kept up. Okay, so Yandex is 5. Kib is 4. Okay, I could do that. Shadow Crush of the Yandex does have the stun to follow. Yandex has a lot of absorbs though. That Spell Warden, it seems to proc constantly. Siphon joins the fight. Yandex looking to kill it. It actually has taken a couple Globus to kill that Siphon. It took like 2 Death Coils and he's still channeling. 2 Death Coils and he's still channeling. That's actually so good. Kib trying to go for a bit of a Shadow Mend. No interrupts available for Yandex. Getting the Arm of the Dead to join the fight. Kib gets the Spurs back up and running. The pet stun comes out, but Kib should be able to get the hell out of dodge. Those pets are going to still do a little bit of dim. And Kib does have defenses coming back very, very soon. Void Eruption is back up. If you could only just get Yandex in a situation where you can go for big Void Eruption, just lock him down, he'll be in a great spot. Interrupt missed by Yandex, trying to see if he might be able to maybe get a grip onto Kib, trying to see if he might be able to doorway shadows out of there. That grip is going to grip him back in though. As soon as he gets close enough, yep, there it goes. At least he got himself a shield from the Venture playstyle. Trinket out of Yandex, not really sure what he trinketed. Might have been a stun or something from Kib. Does lock Kib out on Shadow off of that Mind Games. That's going to be a big PI. Void Eruption coming down. All those Shadow Crutches are going to heal him every time they hit something, anything. I don't wonder if Yandex was able to avoid the bombardment. Going to be a Siphon onto Yandex. Shadow Crutch around the corner yet again. Yandex actually taking quite a bit of damage. Look at that Death Coil, dude. Not enough to kill 2 Death Coils. Clone Shadows. It was 2 Clone Shadows, 2 Death Coils, and his pet auto attacking to take out a Siphon. That thing has plenty of health now. Yandex recovering a ton of health out of nowhere as he dips low. I have no idea how he's recovering all that health, by the way. But he's still doing A-okay. He's still maintaining himself. Shadow Crash's AMS is still up for him. Does have a little bit of that absorb to deal with the shadow damage. But Kib so far has been in a decent back and forth with him. He isn't completely behind the Unholy DK. He's not completely ahead of the guy. But it's more of an even back and forth this time around. It only has 4k HP. But it's better than having 10. Because prior to this, it died in a global. Now, at least, it takes like an ability that does 4k worth of hit. I think it's hitting for nothing. Maybe. But he is trying to kill it. It probably would be still a better idea to avoid it. But at least, all I'm saying is an improvement for the Siphon. Because the current Siphon we have now, you can just accidentally sneeze in his direction and it disappears. You know what I mean? You can just not even mean to hit it. But just randomly drop a Death and Decay. Oh, just get a tick on it. And you're like, wait, was that a Siphon? I didn't even notice. It just came and went like a wind, dude. It's like a silent fart. Well, it's more like a silent fart now. It's more noticeable. You know what I mean? It's more impactful now. It does go down pretty quickly either way, but again, better than 10. 10% of Priest max health is better than 10 health in general. Big slappy hand available for Yandex. Look at the slap Kib around. Kib does have defenses back up. Could be a disperse on him if he wanted to. Abomination does join the fight. So at least he's in an okay spot. There's going to be some grippy hand for Yandex for now. Grim getting gripped in. He's like, oh. But he was able to control himself. Didn't charge at the DK. Could have set him off, man. Never really know. Keep trying to get some does get interrupted on it. It's a PI as well as full damage. Void Eruption. That's going to do a lot of damage to these pets. And a massive heal for Kib. Look at the healing he got with this Eruption. He just has himself Vampiric Embrace. Eruptions is single target damage. When you single target damage abilities hit something, it heals you. He actually just topped himself. That's actually awesome. That's actually awesome. I actually can't believe it. It's actually heals. Actually good heals. He does need to go for, I don't know if he's running Megalomaniac though. He might not be running Megalomaniac. I think he swapped out Mego for a Siphon. He's probably running someone else for the rest of his abilities. Yandex does have the constant Spell Warden, giving him massive shields, by the way, over and over. Flashcraft is up as Kib is able to get some dots on Yandex. He's not going to interrupt himself, Flashcraft. We're going to put some dots on him at least. Broadchunk could just play, would have never thought it would do. He would have thought he would never do 1v1. Yeah, Broadchunk, man. Hopefully he'll get a chance. Because these two have been going at each other for quite a while. Keep trying not to get interrupted. It's kind of lowish on health. That pet is actually doing quite a bit of work. Army of the Dead can still come in for Yandex. Kip does have Disperse. Will he be able to use it here? Try to go for Battle Master Trinket, I believe, to survive this. And I think it's a Battle Master Trinket together with Disperse getting used. Yandex does have the Army of the Dead, as well as the A-Bomb up very, very soon. As long as Kip doesn't get his PI as well as Vampire Brace, then Yandex can maybe do a lot of damage. However, I think he does have it kind of synced sort of well. PI is Vampire Brace with the rest of the pets. He's not in the worst spot at all, you know what I mean? But we'll see. Look at that Siphon. Again, that thing actually does have some health behind it. It doesn't die in a single auto. Mind Gives is up. Yandex is going to take a bit of damage. Slime Shield is up for him. Trying to go for a Shadow Crash. Yandex just trying to avoid him the best they can. Most likely trying to set up a big go. Or at least wait out for the Mind Games, then set up a big go. Dude, Spell Warden procs so much. He just has almost a limited amount of damage to deal with against the magic damage. Gonna be Shadow Crash, AMS coming in. Yandex most likely trying to get himself out, set up a big go. Mazba trying to set up for Kib. Does get going back in. Gonna be A-Bomb joining the fight. Most likely Armor there joining the fight. And Kib trying to avoid this damage best possible. Does have Vampire Brace rolling. Not drawing PI yet. Gonna be big Shadow Crashes everywhere. Does that heal him for a ton? Trying to get some heals for himself right now. Looks like Shadow Crashes kind of avoided a lot of the dead undead pets. For majority part. So that's super unfortunate. Kib does go down as I think his Battle Master Trinket does run out as the Army of the Dead just continued to keep ramping the damage. Grim blinking in on top of Yandex, hitting him with a Condemns immediately. Technically, Condemns are going to give Yandex Spell Warding. Every time Grim gets Condemns, they are going to give him Spell Warden, or have a chance to give him Spell Warden. So at least he's not in the worst spot possible. And if Grim has any other kind of damage that is like proc magic effects, it actually will still do quite a bit. Place him up for Grim. Keep it up with Yandex. Does drop AMS. It's going to be no spell warding. Just, oh! Locking him out, I think, with a condemn. Not a condemn at the end. I think he can condemn through AMS. Plus buff is going to be up next as a mage. We are at the 8-minute duel. 20% dampening. I did like the Shadow Priest crash, by the way. It looked really, really cool. Really, really cool. Gonna be Grim versus Blizz Buff, playing out that Ventier Arcane Mage instead of the Necrolord Mage. Canosphere getting set up. Does he have the big go here? Big go set up, barrage of Canosphere missiles to follow. Grim does go for a rallying cry to give himself a little bit of health to work with. That's gonna be a knockback with a Cotiran Haymaker. Does have enraged regeneration as well as recklessness, so you might be able to use that wreck in order to rampage or rage and blow towards Blizz Buff. Big Condemns coming out here. Actually could be in a bad spot. That Alter Time saved him. It's gonna polymorph himself for a second. Nova onto the Warrior. Does not have Blaze Storm, and looks like Buff is gonna bow out of there. And Grim is number 2. Okay, so cool. We got Grim as number 2. We got Blizz Buff as number 4. So you can make that work. Gonna be Invis real quick for Blizz Buff. Getting a poly onto Grim. 9 minutes in this duel. 26% dampener is gonna get a touch of the Magi. Is he gonna go for repoly? No repolys. Stormbolt onto Blizz Buff, chickens out of it, going for Arcana Sphere just to knock him back. Does get interrupted on Arcane, so quite a bit of his burst with that barrage is going to get cancelled out. Trying to make those Arcane Blasts work, reflected the Arcane Blast, but the missiles kept flying. Gonna be that root onto Grim. Grip can't go anywhere. Plus Buff, he has the line of sight. This would be the perfect time to do it. Grim, though, sacrificing his rage in order to get himself the full might of the Ignore Pain. I was about to say Second Wind. But that's not the right spell. That's far from it. That's a talent altogether. Not even the right spec. Buff, though, maintained himself quite a bit. Grim maintained himself also quite a bit. 30% dampening. You are going to start seeing some healing reduction here. If Grim can get those rage and blows onto Blizz Buff as he's trying to get any kind of heals off, then he is going to get ahead. Getting those condemns is going to be very, very important. Once he can bust out through the shield. Speaking about shields, Grim going for a port, not a Venti port, just to get himself the Draven shield. Sure, he gets out of that poly, does knock out that spell out of Buff's hands. Polymorphing him back. This is going to be some alter time, some temporal maybe? I think that was maybe supposed to be a temporal just now, wasn't it? For Blizz Buff. Still having a hard time with the Warrior though. Blade Storm not slowing this guy down. Alter time available for Blizz Buff is going to be able to port back. Stormbolt still flies at you. This Grim guy has been able to get such good Stormbolts. That's a condemn. That's a nice condemn charge to him. Grim most likely going to get knocked back. Not even knocked back. Does a reflect for Buff. Hoping to maybe get him with a condemn. Does have those charge condemns though. It's like a victory rush-ish condemn. This is an auto that lets you charge. So you're playing Slaughterhouse, maybe the one where 2 raging blows gives you raging health. And he's playing that, he has mobility for days. Big Storm Bolt, buff does have to Icebox, Sharon throw up immediately. Does have a Nova for it. That's going to be invis with a blink, does get himself at least a bit of a defensive. Try to get whatever food he can. Grim mounting up, Nova wearing off. And Buff was able to recover just the hair bit of health, just the slightest bit of health. Nice, has a charge, but also has Condemned to give himself a charge separately, which is very, very interesting. Big Blaze Storm, I think it's over. Grim did a job. Taking him out. Boss Chick gonna be up next. Panda Racial does Zerka Rage out of it. Not gonna be able to get a stun onto Grim. Trying to go for the Night Faces Fusion. Does go for the Fear. A 2-minute cooldown. Probably a 1.5 if you do have the Covenant Conduit. Does take him down. It's gonna be also Counter Strike Totem. Does get zapped out of the way. Boss Chick getting those chain lightnings, I think, off of a Stormkeeper proc. Is gonna get himself the Night Face self heal. Grim Grip actually popping a defensive here. Rage and Blows getting used. I mean, Rage Regeneration getting used. Probably saw the cooldowns out of Boss Chick, so he thought, you know what? I should use it. In case things turn around. I really should treat my enemy like a real threat. But he's not going to have those available for the next go. But then again, Boss Chick, you also have Click Butt, you have Daedra, so maybe he's thinking, you know what? Against the Warlock, Demonology, against Demon Hunter, I might not need Rage Regeneration immediately. I might be okay. But he might need it 2 minutes after when the opening gets really, really high. So we'll see. Storm Bolt into Boss Chick. Try to make some damage happen. The Wolves are joining the fight. And do disappear like they join pretty quickly. Could it be a stun totem? Oh, on top of the pillar. No, on top of the boxes. I don't think the stun totem actually would connect. Big Blaze Storm. Grim Grip doesn't even bust out of the Blaze Storm to get himself a Condemn. Clickbot or Daedra are going to be up next. Daedra still playing that Shadow build. Is it going to be first up? Looks like Clickbot is going to be first. As a Night Elf Demon Hunter. What on chance is this man's running? Storm Bolt by Grim Grip, getting that big executes immediately. Into a stun by Click Bud, getting interrupted on the I-Beam. And actually going to be trinket out of the Fear as he's getting some damage to Grim. Is actually the one getting some damage to Grim. This is where Grim probably is like, you know what? I wish I had my cooldowns. I wish I had my CDs. Going to be a hunt out of Click Bud. Did he actually use the hunt or was that interrupted by something? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Has himself the Fell Charge. Talent, whatever you call it. The hunt, is he going to use now? Did he get interrupted again? Stormbolt? That's going to be a lockdown by Grim. Oh my god. Denied him the hunt. Oh my goodness. Daedra is going to be up next, getting the Succubus to CC him off the bat. Can the Shadow build work for Warlocks? Is that a thing that works for PvP nowadays? Stun into a back-to-back stun with some Wildskirt Bombers. Decimated Bolt getting reflected back at Daedra. Grim trying to see if he might be able to get himself some catch-up on health. Walls up for Daedra, getting Storm Bolted by Grim. He's in a situation where I don't think Grim wins this, but if somehow he comes back out of it, it's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a tough one. Does have the pit behind the pillar, so you can't lose Bloodthirst off of it. Not a lot of health to get out of it. About 57% dampening. But this man is doing A-okay. Try to go for Door of Shadows. Got himself a bit of a shield. Going to be the Obelisk down. Could turn around and kill the Obelisk, actually. Might be worth it. As Daedra trying to see if he can walk him into the Fell Lord. And Grim just bails out of there, dude. He's like, you know what? I can either stay or I can get the hell out of Dodge. So I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge. That's a rough one. Grim might actually be able to recover. Because look at his Rage Regeneration. Look at his wreck. He actually might be able to come back. He's able to maintain himself for a bit. He has a Rage in order to get Ignore Pains off. That's going to be that lockdown with a Succubus C as the Stormbolt comes out. So for Daedra, at least he was able to deny any kind of burst damage out of Grim. Into Mortal Coil, still has plenty of opportunity to lock him down. He's going to go for that Decimating Bolt. The next Demon Bolt should do quite a bit of damage. You see, get the Demon Doggers in for it though. He's going to get those Demon Doggers ASAP. He's going to get the Void Elf Racial set up. It's going to be in Rage Regeneration as well as Wreck. It looks like he decided to turn around, killing the pet. Going to be a Succubus resummoned as Daedra goes for a big old port. Tyrant getting used up. And Grim is going to be under a bit of pressure from the Tyrant, avoiding the stun by going for a Blaze Storm. Fear onto the Tyrant, so the pet can't even do the damage. Daedra under a bit of pressure himself. No wall available, but just condemns back to fourth. It does go down. Yo, Grim climbing out of that one. Oh, 5? Jesus. Yo, Grim. My man. Yo, I think this man is making Fury look insane, dude. Also feel squishy against Grim. Dude, how much versatility does he have? Like, at least 50%, right? least like 50-60% Versa. This guy's just unstoppable. Oh my god. Crazy. Oh my god. It's disgusting, dude. It is a lot of damn. I think no one expected for Fear Warrior to just be making a comeback next patch, huh? They haven't taken nerfs. They've only been getting buffs, so eventually you would imagine they would be stronger than ever before, right? Disgusting. What's up, what's up, man? What's my man? Hope you're having a good one. My boy, thank you for continued support. Appreciate you, my guy. Hope you have a wonderful evening, my dude. We had some great duels today, man. Roton played well. Roton did. He did have one game where he did get to play, I think. At least one game. Too much up trying to play Stormkeepers in hands. It feels so squishy, I guess. Grim. Yeah, that's a rough one. I'm glad you guys are trying new stuff, but you're seeing what works, what doesn't, right? Celtic, bedtime, love the stream. Thank you so much for coming by, I do appreciate you. 5PVE, enhance an arena, what a shame. Yada Savo. Emma Paul Makushke. I don't know what that means. How you doing, my man? This is just Blizzard decided that overpowered specs had already been too good. What? This is just Blizzard decided to overpowered spec had already been good? What? This is just Blizzard decided to overpowered specs that has already been good. Yes. Or no. I really don't know how to answer that. I don't know what you mean. Which was the AWC commentator? Dude, I would love to be AWC commentator for anything. But Shadowlands 9.0? It's so annoying for me to switch the patch in the title. Once a game goes into 9.1, I'll switch it. But you guys get the idea, we're on PTR. This is just Blizzard deciding to overpower a spec that has already been good. Oh, Fury Warrior? Fury Warrior. A spec that's good. To overpower them. Yes. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, Fury Warrior. Yeah, those guys are... Oh boy. Lots of Fury Warriors out there. If it's not like Warrior, I could maybe agree, but Fury? I don't know, Chief. They get memed on pretty hard, dude. I give respect to anybody playing Fury right now, but they're looking pretty good. I'm glad that they are. So understand why this is not a PvP mode. 5V5 1v1, dude. Wouldn't it be awesome? Duels mode of some sorts. Yeah, I mean, at some point, that'd be cool if they added that. I think in Duels, though, you would have certain classes and specs that are just OP, but like, this is just some fun thing that we do on this channel. I like that it's a unique thing. But if Blizzard made it in mode, that'd be cool. The more the merrier, right? The more the merrier, dude. Because what's fun about it, it's not just 1v1, it's a 1v1, and you try to go against next person and the next and the next. Try to see like how far you can go. So when you have somebody go 1v5, just one person back to back to back through everybody, it's fantastic. It's actually really, really cool to watch. Plus, I also love doing this in PTR because we get to test new stuff. Dude, we need to get like a Demon Hunter and the Shadow Priest main on these, right? Somebody who does PvP regularly, like some of the regular boys, right? Like, we need to test out the Demon Hunter and Johanna talents in PvP. Fury is good, people sleep on it. I agree with you on that, but yeah, people do meme on it pretty hard. And being overshadowed by arms, that's true. It does get overshadowed. People meme on it, but they are sleeping on it. They're in deep slumber, dude. They're gonna be woke. 9.1 comes out, they're gonna be like, well, let me go play Arms Warrior, and be like, what are all these Fury Warriors out here? What the hell is this? Dude, Chief Fury Warrior, you must be memeing. And then it's like, wait, I'm actually getting 0 healing. What's going on? Wait, why did they give him sharpened blades every what feels like 5 seconds? They have sharpened blades to press. What is this? Oh no. Oh no, my health. Dude, they're gonna be gone. They're gonna be out of the window. Like, Arms Warriors are just gonna be like, okay, back to the bench with me. Unless you decide to pick up Fury. They should make a game mode, and every kill you reduce the CDs by 10. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. King of the Kill. King of the Kill. Dude, they could call it King of the Kill. Isn't that H1's? That's an H1Z1 mode, I think. They could probably give it like a Blizzard spin. 60% of healing on top of overall good toolkit. Same time PvP specs that really don't get some issues on Arena. Like, Afi got nerfed. Iron Affliction got nerfed for PvP. I agree with you. I figure Affliction got nerfed for dungeons and raids, but I think it's conflating the two. No, like Fury Warriors, like, I mean, their damage is not as consistent as arms. Like, ask anybody right now. Overpower and just bleeds, and they executes, condemns. It's not as consistent. right? You really have to make it work. And prior to that, they had no Mortal Strike. And now we're going to complain that they get a Mortal Strike. I'm glad they get a 60% Mortal Strike effect. I think it's better because they're not giving them like a passive Mortal Strike. They're giving them a more interesting one in an auto talent that has potential to maybe make them really good in very key situations. I think it's fine, dude. I think it's fine. I think too many people take the stance of, oh, this class beat me. Well, they must be overpowered. But if like you end up playing the A class and you end up doing well, like, no, I'm perfectly balanced, guys. What are you talking about? I feel like too many people end up like taking a stance like, oh, this class beat me in duel. Nah, I'll try to find a way to make him overpowered. Even saying like Affliction got nerfed in raids. This is why Fear Warrior is OP in PvP, and it's like Affliction's actually looking pretty good in PvP. Like Chrysler, at least in a duel setting. So I don't know how they're in 2s, 3s, or whatever. I see Destroyers, I see Affliction Warlocks, I see like every kind of Warlock in PvP. Like it doesn't really make a difference, I don't think, that much. They got some of the like Malefic Rapture nerfed PvP. Are you just spamming Rapture? They buffed the dot damage. That's probably better for PvP, let's be honest. And they had some changes here and there. They give you a 2-minute Dark Glare, which I think is better in PvP than having to maintain the debuff with Drain. You can do it if you want as a talent, but you don't have to. They gave you a conduit to make your shuttle bolts do more damage. Then they nerfed it quite a bit because it was sitting for 87k in the crit. That's a lot. I don't know. I don't agree. Let's just make a BG where you can pick a random spawning Torghast anima. Dude, I'm actually not against it. A BG where you get anima Torghast powers. That'd be kind of funny. It won't be. It would be unbalanced, but it'd be funny as hell. Wouldn't want to run a two-handed weapons. It's still a thing, right? I haven't played a WoW in ages. Fear Warrior with two-handeds, yes, you can do two-handeds or one-handeds. It's single-minded Fury or Titan's Grip. Either way, it works out. Flow Lego was redesigned, and without that, Affliction doesn't bring anything into 2v2 or 3v3 arena. Can we all agree that Slow Lego was a little busted? That was really annoying to play against. Like, everybody in the mother would be like, yeah, the Slow Lego was a little busted. That thing was a little OP. A 60% slow constantly just for putting up corruption? Dude, that seems like much. We could all agree that was too much. Like, that was a bit much. That was busted. Yeah. I was fighting Grim and felt like he took 0 damage, so ADK, maybe it's kind of OP. With Fury Warrior, he was, I guess he was playing, like, I don't really know what else, because they didn't get any new toolkits to be more defensive, right? They only got a new Honor talent. He was playing Venthyr, so he had the teleport with the Venthyr from Draven. When he ports, he gains a shield. He Bloodthirst often. Maybe he was playing that. He played Stormbolt, but I wonder if he played that Charge Bloodthirst build, or what. Maybe there's a legendary he ran. I don't know what Lego he would have ran, but maybe there's something he ran to make it more healthy. Maybe he, because like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, because they didn't get anything new to be more defensive, and I feel like the healing they get was, it was doing something. But I don't think it was with the new class changes that made it differently, because they didn't buff their damage, their tankiness at all. They don't have new gear. It was 3 leap Lego. Okay, so it wasn't even like a defensive Lego. It was just mobility, just to catch up to people. Crazy was the only Affliction that I've seen in months. On duels, true. I think on duels, Affliction isn't doing that great. I'll agree with you on that. Like in a 1v1 setting. In a 2v2, 3v3, it's much better. But in a 1v1, Destro, Demo, I think those are a little bit better. But it's also not for the lack of trying either. We do have Chrysler as a Warlock that usually competes. We do have Wild Imp, who's Demonology. Boom, who's also mostly Destro. So, yeah. Those guys are mostly Destro mains too. I don't think we really had a lot of Affliction mains. But I think Blizzard hasn't had a new Renown vendor on PTR yet. A Renown vendor, so you can just buy Renown. So on beta, it used to be on the alpha and the beta of Shadowlands back in the day. You actually, when you just made a character and you joined the Covenant, it would just boost your Renown to max. I think they actually had the opportunity early in PTR to have you unlock all your soul binds and give you like a bit of a boost with Renown. My rogue has a boost, right? It has the full soul binds unlocked for Venthyr. But as for like character to test the Renown stuff, I don't know. I think they should have added something to give you just full Renown, because they used to have it back in the beta and the alpha, and I think they should have just enabled it for PTR so people could really test all the conduits and stuff. They should have done it. I do agree with you on that. They should have just had it enabled. Or if you want like a Renown vendor, you buy like an item worth 1 copper, you get full Renown for whatever Covenant you wanna, so you can go test stuff freely. Yeah, I do agree with you on that. They should have done it. I've been saying it for so long. I've been one of the people that have been saying it since like beginning of PTR 9.1 new stuff. Literally been saying it from day one. From time to time, every time we were on PTR, I'm like, yeah, I wish I could just get mine right now. Blizzard had it before. So 60% of healing done is too strong. Is not too strong. I don't think so. It's a strong on a talent that's gonna put them on the map. But as for like too strong, I don't know, dude. Fear Warriors went from meme to like maybe potentially viable. I don't think we should just automatically go and just butcher that talent off the bat, right? Maybe we'll like it'll end up being that all people are gonna swap to Fury, and then we'll see that the honor talent is really good, and maybe then we'll need to bring it down. But I feel like right now, like Fury has been basically irrelevant in PvP, and finally you're giving him an honor talent to put him on the map. Oh, I think it's too early. People rush too fast to neuter any new honor talent that they have slight dislike of, right? Oh, it's new and I don't understand it. You remove it, kill it. I don't like it. I want things to go back to normal. I just want to see arms warriors in my arenas. It's like, no. Let's put this thing out. Let's balance it maybe. Not completely neuter it. Let's adjust it. I think it's a good new thing. Yes, it's strong, but just because it's strong and new, it doesn't mean you should be like afraid of it off the bat. Like, yes, it's going to change things a little. It'll allow people that want to play Fury Warrior actually to do PvP, but prior to that, they were really just memed on. But like, yeah, I'm just of the different opinion. Like, I want the game to be balanced, but like to completely just to assassinate it before it even makes it out of production, I don't think it's a good idea. And there's been a lot of legendaries that people are like, I see it, I don't understand it, I don't think it's good, I don't like it, kill it. And I'm like, no, it has a cool concept. If we were just adjust the numbers and maybe slightly the gameplay, then it could work out. And that's how I've been, dude. That's how I've been. You know what I mean? I want new stuff to be added. Some people are like, you know what, no need to add new stuff, just push out a new patch. I want new stuff to be added. New honor talents, I think it's a great idea. The stuff they've been doing, I think it's fantastic. Just to kill it as soon as just one person doesn't like it, I don't think it's the way to do it. Like, I like what the honor talent does, you know what I mean? Like the rogue ones too. Like there's some rogues that are like, oh, rogue, new honor talents, I don't like it, kill it. I'm like, no, let's just like adjust these things, right? Because we've been calling for adjustments for a while. Like I kind of personally don't like when rogues are doing the one-shot build where you literally shadow strike people in the opener. I thought it was too G-gen, dude. I was like, we gotta do something about it. And Blizzard started doing something about it. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's see where that takes us. Got 100% wanted this if you come back, dude. It'd be great. It'd be so many people that, dude. Imagine being like a Fury main. Because you know there's some people that like literally spit on you just for playing the wrong spec in arena, and you'll be coming out. You'll be like, you'll be laughing your ass off, just climbing a rating, seeing those same dudes that have talked down to you, dude. And I'm happy that the meta is gonna change too. Like some people want to be like, okay, I want the meta to be Sub-Rogue, Fire Mage, Affliction Warlock, Arms Warrior, Windwalker Monk, Holy Paladin, Resto Shaman, and that's it for the whole expansion. I'm like, no. Let's get some breathing room. Let's get some specs that don't compete that often. Opportunity to play. I want it to be as close to Mists of Pandaria, where literally every spec in the game in PvP was playable. Some people, I don't know. What's bad about that? What's bad if as a mage you could play Arcane Frost and Fire? Just because you like one spec over the other. I think there's nothing wrong with that. What if you could play Destro, Affy, and Demo? If not, instead of just one spec. What if you could play Arms and Fury? Frost and Unholy. Assass, Sub, and yes, Outlaw, as much people meme on it. Survival Hunter, BM, MM. Holy Pally, Disc Priest. Holy Priest, Disc Priest. I see nothing wrong with that. And hey, if we are going to have tanks in RBGs, just seeing Demon Hunters gets annoying. Just seeing Bear Druids gets annoying. What if Brewmasters were actually kind of playable in PvP? What if not, like, prop Paladins were actually pretty okay? Prop Warriors maybe even to some extent. Flag running. Bring something unique and new to the team. I like variety. You know what I mean? I like variety. So that's why I'm not too early to just axe something, right? I want it to go through iterations. I want people to give input. I'd rather have it go through testing and get adjusted to be better, right? To point out the flaws, point out the benefits, and find ways to remove as many of the flaws and add as many benefits as you can while still being balanced and fair with everything else. You know? Like, I don't want any of the specs to do better than the others by miles, but of course there's going to be like, it's a totem pole, right? Some specs are going to be better than others, even in like the smallest like metrics. So you're not going to be able to make them even unless they literally play the same. That's the only way to do it. But an ever-shifting meta, and adjustments, buffs with specs that are underperforming to figure out which core aspects that are bad in. Like, they're not just giving Fury Warriors, for example, with the Autotown, they're not just making them like do 200% more damage. They're like, okay, they don't have a mortar strike effect. Sharpened Blades Forms Warriors is a really good setup for like, hey, I got myself a setup, let's get burst done. What if your warriors didn't have a constant mortar strike effect, but like a sharpened blade every time they rampage, so they could have more constant goes? That could open up a playstyle. It's one small change. It's one tiny change that makes a difference. Because the smallest changes that can make a big difference. Like that's why SAS Rogue went from like non-viable in raiding and in Mythic Plus in PvE to like one change. In Venom refreshes Slice and Dice. Everybody's playing it because now certain legendaries become better. There's certain synergies that proc off of it, right? It's a trickle-down effect. It's a butterfly effect. One small thing happened, bunch of other aspects just like shifted around a bit. Little things you can do too. I shot up PS9-1. It should be pretty good tonight. It should be pretty good. On new Autotowns looking pretty interesting. I wish I had to let go the procs. Ascendance from Star Trek was good. Yeah, hopefully they made it like proc more often. It can happen, but it doesn't proc enough in my opinion. More good Autotowns to allow change the setups would be great actually, instead of just one set into everything. Yeah, it's just I would like variety of Autotowns. Like it's super boring when you just have one Autotown set and that's all you do for everything. Having actual choices, I think is a great thing. I think nothing wrong about it. Which adds a better talent, so rework Shadowlands God legit have to play around mana almost every game. Yeah, it is pretty mana intensive. I am going to give you that, Chicago. It is a lot of healing, right? You do have a lot of healing every time you do have to heal, but you are pretty like squish. So that is something to consider. So with the enhancement shamans, I don't think it's a opportunity of like trying to play tankier. I think instead you actually have to play more aggressive, how you have been. Like the Ghost Road build that you do with the like the Elemental Blast and the Flame Shock and kiting people, that actually I think works out really well. Yeah, I think variety is good. You know what I mean? But then you need a dedicated designer like Shadowlands got in beta. But Shadowlands also needed a dedicated designer. Like they were losing way too much things going from BFA. They were actually losing way too much stuff. Like they were literally reliant off of Azure powers in BFA. And stripping all the Azure powers, the necklace, corruptions, they literally had nothing. They were like a car with like only 3 wheels out of the 4, a steering wheel that only turns 2 of those 3 wheels. Like you weren't going to go anywhere. It was like a car without a door, without a windshield. And like all those Azurites, all that stuff, that was your door, that was your windshield, that was the engine, that was all those parts. So they needed a rework. I think there are some specs that should get a rework like that too, because they feel kind of boring, kind of stale. But in terms of like cohesiveness, majority of specs are fairly cohesive as they come right now. Next expansion, everything just got ridiculous and OP, and then basically balanced way more fun. Yeah, kind of like Mop. Everything was really strong, but like everybody were busted in their own way. But when everybody's busted, nobody's busted. Yeah. I mean, I think right now some classes are like that, but some are a little bit further ahead than others. I think with scaling, as we get more gear in the future patches, like it's all going to even out towards the end of Shadowlands too, wherever that is. Some people saying 9.1 will be last patch. Some people are saying like 9.2, and then they're going to do like a WAD 2.0 and skip it. Go to Legion 2.0 or something. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so far I am really happy with some of the Autotowns they've done for 9.1. What's top damage from Outlaw and Plus? The melee weapon top 3 damage too. What's top damage from Outlaw? Blade Flurry in Mythic Pluses. Blade Flurry cleaves. Melee damage, auto attacks. Yeah, it's pretty up there. I'd say it's Dispatch. If you're playing the Necrolord playstyle, it's probably like Blade Flurry, Dispatch, Auto. Probably something like that. But Blade Flurry will be the highest. That's the best I can answer. Alrighty, boys. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for watching, boys. Hope you guys are having a good one. I'm gonna go peace out, get some food, chill out, get some work done for the night. Thank you boys so much for joining me in the Duels. Super fun hanging out with all of you. Tomorrow is Sunday, so tomorrow I'm not streaming. We're coming back Monday to finish up some alt stuff, and then Tuesday with a big box opening, as well as a TBC launch. That week I'm not raiding, so I might do side streams of me leveling in TBC. I might do leveling streams in TBC. I'll see how it goes. But we'll see. So maybe instead of like rating streams, I'll see it. Maybe I'll get into it. Maybe I won't. We'll try it. We might try it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming by. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you all you boys in the next stream arena. Alrighty, boys. Peace.